The Washington Commanders capped off a busy weekend of football with a 23-20 doink win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The national championship is set as Notre Dame will face Ohio State after they beat Texas 28-14. The Irish and Buckeyes will battle it out in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta a week from today. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody! How we doing? It's a Monday. On the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. But hey, we got football tonight. How bad can it be?
Dude, let me tell you, this new modern football world with every night having a playoff game, the do or die, win in advance, survive and move on.
It's sex,
It's going to cause divorces.
It is sex.
I mean, right now, you have no encumbrances. You have nothing to interfere, nobody upset with your viewing patterns.
I just got to throw down a can of Fancy Feast every once in a while, and it all works out for me.
That's not going to work for my wife. She's like, she wakes up in the morning mad.
Yeah.
Saturday morning, she woke up like, all right, so how many games are today? I'm like, no, baby,
only
today's
2.
Today's yours. But then yesterday, how many games today? How many games tomorrow?
It's like these women haven't been married to sports guys their whole lives.
I know, but there's always been a break, and we're at like 5 consecutive nights of
there's a break. It's called baseball season.
Literally matter. That's what I tell my wife. You know, this is my busy time, honey.
Yeah.
This is my busy period. But it's been spectacular. I will give it what it's due. It's just been so much for so long. I feel like I've been watching football for about 3 consecutive weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, nonstop, 6 hours a day football.
It kind of feels that way, but I love it. I love it.
No, I'm not mad at it.
I know it's almost over.
I know.
Oh, God.
But the wifestress is running out of patience.
Yeah. My wife never really bitches at me about the amount of football I watch, but once basketball season is in charge, like college basketball particularly, like I don't really if there's like something, you know, if there's like a random NBA game on, I usually don't watch it, but I bet on so much college basketball that I consume a lot of it. So she hates college basketball, and she's like, I don't want to watch this. And I get it. I don't really want to watch it, but like,
no,
but
I can't get away with it on weekend nights unless she is absolutely elsewise occupied. But she's a bit of a fan, so she never minds a Spurs game. She'll always watch the Spurs. But
yeah, I mean,
college basketball, she gets a little.
I didn't have an NBA team that I was beholden to watching until I moved here, but yeah, once like she takes a big sigh of relief once basketball season's over, because now she knows, okay, now I've got until football starts up again. Like I'll watch random baseball games, but if I'm not watching the Astros every night, it's not like it's the end of the world.
I agree. There's always another game.
Right.
There'll be another one tomorrow. But I basically haven't seen my wife. We went and did our weekend thing on Saturday. Some lovely maples.
Wait a minute. I'm putting it together here.
Uh-oh.
Now, you said when Edwin came in, how you doing, Edwin?
Uh-huh.
What'd you do this weekend? Did you get laid? And Edwin said no.
Yeah.
And then you looked at me and you said, oh, did you get laid? And you went, oh, of course you didn't get laid, which was kind of just salt in the wound. But, I appreciate that.
No, I didn't mean it that way.
Okay, sure you didn't.
No, honestly.
Sure.
I didn't try to.
It was just a bit, it was just a slip of the tongue. Like, oh, yeah.
Well, of course you didn't.
Yeah, of course you didn't, you loser. And then Rob's like, well, looks like none of us got laid. But you took a weekend getaway to a place called Lost Maples on a football Saturday, like a playoff football day, and you didn't get laid?
Because I was watching football till 11:30 that night.
Dude, that's a.
I was watching football.
Ooh, that's a big fat L.
kind of got away from me. I'll agree. But
Lost Maples and you did on football Saturday.
Actually, I didn't hold any. I wasn't upset.
I would have been like, what the? You said it's all yours today, babe.
So she, that night. What game was Saturday night?
There was 2 day games. It was the Chargers-Texans was early, and then it was like an evening game was the Ravens-Steelers. So there wasn't like a late-night game.
Something happened.
Yes, something happened.
No, nothing happened, actually.
And Rob,
no,
Rob's over here like, I know you didn't get laid.
We have to throw. There is a variable here that we have not thrown in.
Okay.
My house is still destroyed after a month of.
I would have laid down a blanket in the maple patch.
Well, at Lost Maples, I was operating under the intention that something was going to happen.
Of course you are. You're like, how far away is Lost Maples?
Oh, about hour and 15.
Okay. I'm imagining a world where I say, yeah, baby, I'm not going to watch either of these football games today. We're going to drive 2.5 hours round trip to a place called Lost Maples. What do you do at Lost Maples exactly?
You kind of go have a lovely lunch and look at and see some scenery.
So you pay overpriced lunch prices and probably drink wine and
all of those. Yeah, it was a full afternoon.
I'm automatically assuming. Like,
yeah,
I'm already penciling
right.
it down. Like, yeah, well, at least after this crappy day, I'm going to get sex.
Yeah, I did. You're right.
Man, this is BS, Rob. I'm mad for you.
I'm trying to put into why I woke up Sunday not upset. But I
can't even picture a world where I wouldn't be upset.
I agree. But our house
meanwhile, Rob's like, you didn't get laid. Scumbag.
And I didn't even realize it.
What a terrible person. You're like, I know you didn't. Well, you took her to Lost Maples and you didn't get laid. At least my wife lives 2 time zones away.
I did not. And if she's gotten up early, I won't get laid tonight either. If she listens to any of this, the shoe's going to be on the other foot for a couple of days.
Is your phone ringing right now?
What does it mean when your wife tests you an ice cube? What does that mean?
Oh, boy.
Thank God I still have football tonight. So
that's right. Yeah, one more night, baby.
Night. The Spurs are on the West Coast. It'll be a late night. I can do that.
Oh, man. Yeah, we still got one more game, but 5 playoff games down, 2 college football playoff games. We've got so much to talk about today. So much, friends. So much. We've got to do an autopsy on the Texas Longhorns at some point.
Yes, we do.
On the corpse of Bevo lying there on the side of the road with vultures pecking at its ribcage.
Texas fan. Texas fans, settle down. Remember that
Texas fan is so irrational.
Take a deep breath and write that letter tomorrow. Take a deep breath and make that call.
They couldn't do
tomorrow.
And with Aggie fan, I'm just like, I'm so used to them being like their expectations being this other world that like doesn't make sense to me. Like it doesn't compute to me. Like A&M is almost like. Now
I'm curious why we're talking about Texas. Suddenly you're talking about me.
Well, I'm not talking about you.
I'm
not talking about you. Because you're generally what I would call. I call you a RAF, and there's not many of you RAFs. But those are rational Aggie fan. That's like normally it's a very small percentage of your population, but most Aggie fan starts every season thinking this is a national title year. Like we could win the national title.
Right or wrong, yeah, that's a very
despite what that football says
on the
up
other
here,
side,
Rob, that you can't.
But we have 2 titles. I have a good authority. We won it twice. I haven't been able to verify it beyond one source, but as far as source I have and the football I have, no, I think
President Grover Cleveland was at that game.
But because we have suffered so many drastic and awful losses over the years, We are easy. We genuflect a little bit better. We look at the good of the previous season far more than Texas fan. We look back and go, after we've lost so many, we know why we lost and how we got there. Texas fans just can't believe it, so they lash out at everything.
That's the truth. And Texas fan has a little more right to think that they've got a chance to win the championship every year, but then when they don't, it is like this rage. Like, I can't believe. You know what? When we come back, we'll start the show with that. We'll address the insanity, quite frankly, of Texas fan as we, like I said, give the autopsy of poor Bevo dead on the side of the road. It's just, first
and goal. It's first and goal.
First and goal from the 2?
First and goal from the 2. That's it.
And I think that I'm not saying that Sark has not taken his share of grief on the interwebs, but I think the outrage is maybe a bit misplaced for Texas fan. We'll talk about that next. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Heads up on the southwest side of town. We do have an accident just now reported at Loop 410 eastbound, 35 over to Somerset. It's in the left lane. A little bit of a delay from Quintana. Not too bad right now, less than 5 minutes. On Loop 410 Frontage Road, westbound Somerset, we've got an accident. Cloud at Donaldson, northwest side of town. Get reports of a wreck right at that intersection. And ongoing road work, 35 upper level southbound, that connector to get onto westbound I-10. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. It's just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then, you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at H-E-B today.
Has a loved one died and left you an old car to sell? GiveMeTheVin.com has just launched the new service, GMTVCC.com. Write this down, GMTVCC.com, which is Give Me the VIN classic and collector car buying service. GMTVCC.com will hook you up with GMTVCC Pro buyers that will appraise and offer on that 69 Chevelle, old Corvette, old truck, and especially Restomods. We love Restomods at GMTVCC.com. Don't mess with consignments or auctions. Get paid today on your classic or collector car at GMTVCC.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com. Joe, I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. Ta-da! It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and...
Stop. Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes stay in tip-top shape. Call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, TACLA 141074E.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying... just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Lowe's knows how to help make your Super Bowl 59 party a touchdown. Let us help you prep your home to host with top brands like Charbroil, Blackstone, and LG, so you can be the MVP of game day. Plus, use the Lowe's app to find what you need for a seamless shopping run. Or huddle up with our Lowe's Red Vest associates to help make all your game time hosting decisions.
Welcome to Staples.
I am so pumped. My business is going to kill it this year.
Awesome. How can I help?
First, a new computer.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you save big on tech.
And new posters.
Save on custom printing, too.
And,
a new chair?
A chair? Who has time to sit?
Maybe all your new clients?
Now you're talking.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you'll find huge savings on custom prints, storage, chairs, and tech. And now save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1.
Is health or fitness a goal this year? Great news. The King of Paddle has arrived in San Antonio with 8 pickleball and 6 paddle courts. Their indoor facility suits all skill levels from beginners to seasoned players. Mark your calendar for their January 18th and 19th winter tournament. Find details at thekingofpaddle.com or at the King of Paddle SA on social media. Visit their new downtown location at 314 Nolan Street or check out the new King of Paddle facility with us this Thursday as we broadcast the Blitz live from 2 to 6.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on the Blitz, what a weekend of NFL playoff action. My goodness, we got a lot to react to.
And one to preview with Vikings Rams on Monday night. Plus, we'll have the latest on Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys.
The Blitz starts Monday at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
Morning Huddle, 94.1. Got another thing coming.
Saw them in 1982? 81?
Ooh.
I think on this tour, right?
I was 2 or 1 years old.
Yeah. What is it, Screaming for Vengeance?
It is Screaming for Vengeance,
The Los Longhorns with a rough into the season. All right, first of all, let's get this out of the way first. Jack says, I'm still waiting on an explanation from AJ on how he sees the SEC as so superior to the rest of the country.
What?
500 in bowl games, which tells me they are average. Jack, bowl games, if bowl games where all these players are sitting out is your measuring stick of how good a conference is, then I don't know what to tell you. Is the SEC and mind you, the top-ranked team from the SEC, his elbow fell off, and he didn't play in the tournament.
Well, Big Ten was better this year. I will admit that. The Big Ten, the top of the Big Ten, was better than the top of the SEC. It was.
I don't know.
I think think of the year that Indiana had, and the SEC didn't have a surprise team like that. And it turned out Indiana was what we thought they were. But, I mean, during the regular season, they looked pretty incredible. They had a run a lot like Texas did. I mean, they were blowing teams out and putting up remarkable numbers and doing cool stuff.
Is Texas not the surprise team of the SEC?
Well, kind of, but not so much. But, yeah, I would say close. But I think Texas had a lot more hype behind them than Indiana did.
Yeah.
And you look at the addition of Oregon to the Big Ten, and UCLA and USC didn't win a lot, but they did make it a little bit more competitive. So it made the middle class of the Big Ten a little bit stronger. This year, Big Ten was better. Way better? No. I think by the title game, we can argue that the Big Ten was better on its own.
Well,
but at the end of this season, Big Ten, you get this year. But it's a winning of a battle, not a war. There's a lot more coming, and it's going to be give and take. These are the two super conferences.
Yeah, that's
should
the thing.
Be this way.
I do think the SEC is the best conference, but I think the Big Ten is right there with. I don't think the SEC can turn their nose up to the Big Ten by any stretch.
But this year, Big Ten gets it. I'll give it to you. And injuries are always going to play a role, but. Scoreboard. Now, I will never judge the quality of a conference by their bowl record. That's
the
silly.
dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Look at the bowls we witnessed. I mean, we watched a bunch of exhibitions. We saw, I think I saw 2 bowl games that were played like championship games. Like this was do or die. Our starters were in it, and I can't even remember who they were. You know what I mean? Most of those games were just bubblegum. So I won't do that, but I will freely admit, as an SEC apologist, Big Ten had a better year. There you go.
Yeah.
They did.
And he says you can rationalize wins and losses any way you want. Point is, SEC is average. If you think the SEC is average, Jack, you're just that's like bombastic statements. That it's ridiculous to say that. It really is. But that's all right. Like you're one of these dudes, I'm sure, who thinks like
He went to Northwestern.
No, I don't think.
Well,
no, I'm guessing he's one of these people who is like the Big 12 is just as good as anybody, which is okay. Like if you think that, cool. Like that's if that's what you want to believe, then that's fine. I'm not going to try to rationalize something to someone who's clearly an irrational person. Now, Texas losing the way they did. First of all, I found myself this weekend in on X.com in a world where I was having to like vehemently defend Quinn Ewers. And I don't know that Quinn Ewers isn't the kind of guy that I'm typically like looking to ride or die for. You know what I mean?
Well, he's in this land of that Cowboy fan is so familiar with. Certainly good enough. No question about it, but just not enough. And how do you parse that current, near future, long term? It's really going to be in your attitude about what you saw. But no one can argue or should ever argue the quality that he brought to the table. There's some things, nobody's perfect. But listening to a Texas fan, take a deep breath. It's like that sternly written letter, that call that you want to make, that road rage you want to throw out. Just take a deep breath, man, because I think you're going to regret it. Because no matter how good the future looks, you're going to miss this kid. You're going to miss him. You're going to miss him in October. You're going to miss him. You know what I mean? You're going to miss him in those days where you needed a good quarterback that wasn't going to make a mistake. You're going to miss him those days.
And Vic, I don't know, you don't have to delete things where guys call me a loser. It's okay if the guy thinks I'm a loser, or Edwin, whoever. Don't worry about that. Like if on the brigade bar, people are going to think I'm a loser and a dummy, and that's okay.
No, they just can't admit when they're wrong.
It's all right. We don't need to. We don't need to delete comments of them. It's all right.
Where should the anger go? If you had an anger, if you feel like you have a right to pick a fight,
it's at Sark.
It's at Sark. And what's it for?
Well, first of all, once you are in first and goal on the 2-yard line, I mean, now I will to their defense. They did not have – losing C.J. Baxter at the beginning of the year meant you had no real power running game. All right. You try to run on first down. It doesn't work. Wisner is just not beefy enough. What you can't do in that case, though, now that it's second and goal, is run a pitch play that can, in any world, cost you 7 yards. That's an inexcusable play call there. In the history of time, you can't call that.
Lateral play call when vertical was desperately needed. What were you thinking?
You can never, ever do that. So now you're 3rd and 9, 3rd and goal from the 9, and the pass that Quinn threw on 3rd down, I thought, it was where it needed to be. I thought there was maybe there wasn't enough jostling that there should have been a flag.
No,
but the receiver got thrown off his route a little, and they just didn't hook up. So now you're on 4th down, and the people who are mad at Quinn are pointing to this 4th down like, how can you fumble the ball there? When the truth is, that play as a quarterback, you're looking at as the game. This is the game. Either I'm going to convert here or we lose, which I think is the proper way to look at it. Because if you don't convert there, you've got about a 1% chance of getting the ball back. You need to be all in on this hand, is the to put it in poker terms.
Yeah, well, the game was over the moment he picked up the ball. The 6 didn't matter. The moment the ball was turned over, whether it was 4th down and you turned it over on downs or he picked 6'd it or whatever he did, the game was over before he scored. It's the fact that Ohio State now had the ball.
But people are like, well, you got to just tuck it and take the sack or throw it away.
Well,
you can't
it's a
give them
turnover. The game's over.
They're like, they could have got the ball. They could have stopped a 3 and out and they get the ball. It's like, dude, no, this was the game. He held the ball longer because he knew he had to make a play, and it didn't work out.
The game was lost on the pitch play. When you decided to go lateral instead of vertical,
no
when you
question
decided to get away from what you had to get, you went tricky, you went soft, you went flashy when you should have been power, and you paid the price. And again, the pick 6 looked awful, whatever we want to call that, but the game was over the moment he touched the ball. The moment Ohio State got the ball, the game was over. Now the 6 made it, it stuck. It put the knife it twisted the knife, but it was.
Well, it went from about a 1% chance to a 0% chance.
Yeah, we all knew it, and it's unfortunate. Well, it's depending on how you look at it. The ending was spectacular. It really was a fitting end to a football game. But I don't put any more on yours plate than I put on Sark's plate at all. I think, Sark, if you have anger to be levied, it's at your coach, not your court. Did he make a mistake? Yeah, but the coach's job is never to put your player in a situation like that.
All right, we'll continue this conversation on the other side, because I think the reason why Quinn is getting hate is also interesting. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning, and heads up on Loop 410, southwest side of town. We've got an accident on 410 southbound between Somerset and 35. We've got a left lane blocked. 35 upper level southbound, that connector to westbound I-10 downtown. We've got the connector ramp reduced to 1 lane, and road work I-10 eastbound at 1604. Now, if you guys see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
It is playoff time. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. You know Underdog is the best place to cash in on all your takes during the playoffs. Be like me and 5 million other happy players winning money watching games with their Pick'em game, where you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. You can cook up fire entries for a shot to win real cash prizes all playoff long. You can even take football and basketball and mix them together. Underdog is the only Pick'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. Now you can either keep riding with your entry or tap the Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. Underdog is the best place to play Pick'em. Download the app, sign up with my promo code STAR, and deposit now and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code STAR. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code STAR. Sign up today.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. It's just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Something amazing is happening in business. More companies are turning to Mac. From finance to fulfillment, CDW will seamlessly support Mac integration into your organization. With the power of Apple Silicon, best-in-class security, and compatibility across your favorite apps, your team will have the performance they need and the tools they love. Make amazing happen. Mac and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/Apple.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit iffhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle 94.1. The other thing about that sequence is people are, well, and this is where I think a lot of the hate for Quinn from Texas fan, and it's not all of them, as I found. Like I because I dug into the rabbit hole. There are some Texas fans who are really appreciative of Quinn's time here, but even those fans, I think, are kind of ready for him to move on. Which that's the part that's fascinating to me. I can't think of another school where a guy would be in back-to-back Final Fours, and teams would be like, we got to get a new quarterback in here.
Well,
but a lot of it is the guy is Arch Manning sitting behind him.
It's Arch, but this isn't the first time the guy on the bench was more popular than the starter. But this one is unique in that the moment before the kid even moved in.
It is so Simsy.
So it is very Simsy. And
his last name says, we got to get this guy in there.
And the fear is that the same thing happens because no one questioned young Sims's ability when he rolled into Austin. He wasn't the perfect quarterback like yours and then Manning was, according to the rating systems. But he was as good as Texas had ever seen.
Yeah.
And the pressure and the team and the environment just beat him down. It was an unfortunate situation in an era that probably was uncommon. Now it's much more common for a quarterback to get beat down by expectations. Yeah. But back then, it was a much more nurturing environment. You protected your guys. And I never felt like Sims was protected in Austin.
No, he wasn't.
And yours, by just his fame and the money, kind of built in his own protection. He had the screw you money, but he was never really protected either. You get a quarterback like Bennett in Georgia, who never had the skill set that Ewers.
Well, he's a walk-on.
But was treated like Christ himself inside Athens. Like, you take quarterbacks like that and you defend them to the death. You never, because there's so few. And Ewers was never given that kind of treatment. He was, arrogant and didn't deserve a lot of it. But the Texas fan will so quickly knock you down. Whereas other programs, when you get the great quarterback, you love them until they leave. And
now, remember in Georgia, Stetson Bennett, the walk-on, was playing over JT Daniels, the 5-star super prospect. And it's kind of the same thing. Well, not that Arch is a walk-on, but
and by the way, a walk-on at Georgia isn't really a walk-on. It's not like this kid wasn't going to make it at Stephen F. and just happened to be on the University of Georgia campus and said, you know what? I think I'm going to try out for the football team.
No, but the idea that on a team that does have, like, JT Daniels, remember, was like the top quarterback in the country. And like this guy who wasn't on scholarship to start ended up
You're
beating
absolutely
him out.
right. And that's one of the most difficult things to do at anywhere is for a walk-on to get themselves not only on a roster, but to become a starter. Because it tells everybody that all the scouts were wrong, the coaches were wrong, there was a diamond out there that you absolutely missed. So it's very difficult to do that. So I give him some credit. And you'll never get that at Texas. Texas will never have a walk-on do that, ever, because the environment will not allow it.
Well, okay, so here's to my point. First of all, I don't think that I think that Arch was hurt after that run that he had. I think he was concussed, possibly. It looked like he was banged up. Otherwise, I think they would have tried to use him at the 1-yard line. But Casey says Quinn seems more like Sims, and Arch feels like the guy who came after Sims VY. This is what I'm here to tell everyone. Arch Manning is not Vince Young. Vince Young 2.0 is not walking through the door. Like, Vince Young is a once-in-your-entire-life type of a player that showed up and was in the perfect place at the perfect time, and it just doesn't – like, the best programs don't see two Vince Youngs. They just don't. I'm trying to think, since Vince Young, who's been even close to what he's done? I guess it's
Colt.
I mean, no. I mean, I guess, but he didn't win a champion. Well, I'm saying, like, nationally, who's been close to doing what Vince did, like just putting a whole program on their back, and maybe Cam Newton.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to take away from the rest of the talent on that team. But
no doubt.
For Texas fan to go, well, he looks a lot like Vince Young. In your wildest dreams, I hope so.
Yeah.
And it does feel kind of like that. I think the comparisons are apt. I do think that Ewers was an extraordinary quarterback, and he did good enough things to where it's not an extraordinary time, but a good enough time that in the future you can look back fondly.
He's the best quarterback Texas has had in 15 years.
Easily. Since Vince.
Since Colt McCoy.
Since Colt, but they're the same guy. Yeah, okay. He's not Vince, but certainly I see the possibilities. And that's going to be, sadly, unless things change, it'll be Manning's downfall because you're expecting him to be something that he won't be. There's no way he's going to be that. You're not going to be you're not going to be the third best college football team of all time and probably the best at that moment when they were done of all time.
Like, assuming that Arch is going to be the next VY is the most no offense, Rob, it is the most Aggie-sounding thing ever.
Well, it's not saying he's the next Johnny. You're not going to get another Johnny. Yeah, you're just not gonna.
But like believing that that's what he is, even if he's like at his best,
well,
he ain't going to be Vince. He's just not.
This is the beginnings of when Saban started winning and he started talking about rat poison. This is the situation you have to start to avoid.
Yep.
You have to start to avoiding the we are going to be the greatest at every position, and if we're not, it's an absolute failure. And once you start buying that instead of what's the quality of my team, and once you start measuring, this next guy is going to be as good as the best guy that's ever been at this position, and if he's not, it's a failure.
Yeah.
That's when you start to collapse as a program.
Joe says Arch is going to let some naysayers know next year. Arch doesn't really have naysayers. Like, if I'm a naysayer by saying he's not going to be Vince Young, and that's the worst of your naysayers, then you don't really have naysayers. Because I think Arch Manning's pretty good. But I don't think it's a guarantee he's going to be better than Quinn Ewers. And Texas fans are like, well, we need somebody who can run.
Let me tell you.
It's like, dude, I'm telling you, just be careful what you wish for, man. Because I've seen Texas go through a bunch of David Ashes and like it's.
Oh, no, it's not David Ash. It's there was a run of the best quarterbacks in the country that came through Austin that ended up calling plays at Stephen F.
Oh, Garrett Gilbert.
This is your fear. That it's not those guys. It's the Garrett Gilberts that you don't want to run into. The guys that probably, if things broke differently, should have still been there. Just good enough to be hated. That kind of thing. That's the nightmare. And there is no way. There's no way that Arch Manning lives up to it. Just like there is no way Ewers could live up to it unless you went undefeated with a title. There's just no way. You can't in this environment. And it's not going to be easy. You're going to have games where you've got a redshirt junior throwing interceptions because he's only had 30 snaps in his entire college career. You're going to run into that. It's going to happen. And how are you going to react then, Mr. He's the next Vince Young? How are you going to react then? Are you going to blow him up? Or are you going to treat him like you did when Vince made a couple of mistakes his junior year?
Yeah. And say, Vince needs to be a wide receiver.
Oh, you need to move him, man. He's a safety. That's what he's going to be in the NFL. He's going to be a big safety, a head-hunting safety. I don't know why you're playing quarterback.
And if you wanted a guy who could run, then why'd you run Malik Murphy out of town? Like, it's just
I love it. As an Aggie, this is my favorite part of the year.
It is wild, but and it's wild that Quinn Ewers, if he wanted to come back next year, probably won't be at Texas.
If I had an oil well in my backyard, if I had a little bit of money, FU money, if it were, I'd be calling old man Ewers.
Oh, as an Aggie?
As an Aggie, I'd be calling old man Ewers. To see what his attitude was, just to see. We're a little bit more forgiving in Kyle.
Yeah.
We're a little bit nicer to our starting quarterbacks, even if we get a call from the police, say at 2 a.m. And even if you say we have a little bit of weed in the back seat, it's really not that big a deal. We can take care of things like that. Not like in Austin. We protect our client. We take care of ours.
I think next year Quinn is going to be at Georgia or Notre Dame or some other big program, and he's probably going to have plenty of success. I don't think he's a generational quarterback, which is what a lot of people thought he could be. But man,
depending
I'm
on
telling
your generation,
you to be careful what you wish for, because I've seen a lot of Shane Buechels and Case McCoys and Tyrone Swoopses and Hudson Cards, and it's like, dude, when you forget how it can be, and if you're running this guy out of town who's been to back-to-back semifinals, careful what you wish for is all I'm saying.
Because you wouldn't even have made a semifinal if it wasn't for him.
When we come back, we'll wrap up the talk on Texas. We'll hear from Coach Sark on the sequence from the 1 yard line. We'll do that next. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. The one and only Rich Eisen is on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
George gets justice after being hit by an 18-wheeler. The experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in the courtroom. George guarantees that you don't pay unless they win your case. Call 210-225-0909 today for a free consultation. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. It's just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Well, family, this new year is off to a great start. Everybody, how are those New Year's resolutions?
Dear, my resolution is to cut my damaged hair and just start over.
Dad, my resolution is to take better care of my skin. It's so dry. Ew.
Pops, my New Year's resolution is to work out at the gym. Go up and drink a gallon of bottled water every day.
My resolution is to take up skydiving.
Mom, you're 96.
Don't you make me get it.
Family, my resolution is to replace all our appliances that have been destroyed over the years by hard water.
Sounds like your family needs to start the new year off with installing a Connecticut water system and get a head start on all those resolutions.
This guy's making sense.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. Offer ends soon. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country.
The last water softener you'll ever own. ConnecticutSA.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
All right. Wrapping up hour number 1 on the little huddle here on a Monday. They asked Sark at the post game about the sequence from the 1-yard line. Here's what Coach Sarkeesian had to say.
First 2 plays, we threw the ball into the end zone. We got back-to-back PIs. And when we got down to the 1, we went to a heavy package, which is Jarek's package. And so we ran it, and we obviously didn't get much movement at all. And we had a plan to try to get the ball on the edge when we got down there. They went to big people. I can't quite tell. It was on the far side of where it got leaky. But that, it's one of those plays. If you block it all right, you get in the end zone, and we didn't, and we lose, quite a bit of yardage. And at that point, you're kind of stuck behind the 8 ball because we knew we were in 4-down territory because of the score of the game. And I was okay even if we didn't score, not that I didn't want to score, but thinking, all right, they're going to have to be backed up, and we'll probably get one more possession with good field position. The last thing you think is that, the sack, and this is going to bounce right to the guy who's going to run for a touchdown. So it was unfortunate that was the circumstances, because it was a really nice drive by the offense to get all the way down there, and first and goal on the 1, and we don't score. You quite frankly probably don't deserve to win that way.
It seemed like, I don't know. It didn't seem like he was taking responsibility there for that. I know, saying, "Oh well, there's a chance." Yeah, there's always a chance that you could break it and you could score there. But you're on, right. You're on the 1-yard line. You can score. There's a chance you can score on any play. Like that. Let's just admit, that was a mistake that I made calling that play, and he didn't want to say that. And then to say, "Oh, I thought we were going to have the ball one more time," but then the fumble, and it's like. Come on, dude.
I think some of the issues are now available to you as Texas fan. I think there's no worries about a lot of things for the future of the Longhorns. But while we're talking about what's going to happen next year, and I think that the issues will be addressed by Sark. I don't think he the play call was bad. Whether he made the call, somebody else made the call, it was a bad idea. But at the end of the day, that's not why you lost the game. Or maybe it is. But when we look at next year and we're talking about your quarterback, what this team is truly going to miss was a defense that might go down as the best defense Texas has had since national champions in the late 60s. It's certainly better than your 08 team. Your 07. I mean, that defense was ridiculous. And think about what they did to that Ohio State offense. Took Jeremiah Smith completely out of the game.
Oh,
and for the most part,
Thorpe winner on him, like no one's held him like that.
Nobody. Their two running backs, for the most part, held in check all night long. It was an extraordinary defensive performance,
with the exception of the first drive.
Well, you're playing against Ohio State.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have a bad drive. I'm not mad at that. It was just.
It was almost like the Bills Broncos yesterday.
Yes,
it's like okay, you got punched to the mouth. How are you going to respond? And they did.
And they not only did they kept at it. And maybe you have a chance to hold them and get the ball back late there in the fourth. Maybe you did with the way that defense played. But this team is going to be remembered for isn't what it should be remembered for. You're going to remember this year as the year that you were almost but wasn't quite.
Yeah.
But this was a year where you're going to send. There's 6 NFL players on that defense, 7 maybe. That was as good a defense as you're going to see in Austin for a while. I mean, front to back, it was just a ridiculously fast and strong defense that probably will be overshadowed by what should have been instead of what was.
I ended up having to get in an argument with some guy who was trying to dump on Ewers and was saying that Ewers didn't do it, and he had a better defense and more talent around him than VY did. And I was like, what? You're forgetting, friend, that 05 Texas defense had literally 12 players. The defense had 12 players drafted. Their nickel corner got drafted. I mean, that was one of the most talented teams ever. So I get it that this was a talented team. But acting like the guys who have done it before were doing it with poverty is just not. It's not realistic.
No, it was. I appreciate Sark's attitude. I do. Our Edwin came in before the show, and we haven't verified it, but he said there hasn't been a coach that was calling the plays win a championship since who?
I think Jimbo Fisher.
Since Florida State. That ever since then, there's been an OC making those calls. And when I think Sark looks back, maybe that's something that should be addressed. And I think the successful teams, at least in the college level now, have the hot OC with a CEO. That seems to be the method, whether it's the OC that is working his way back to being a head coach or one that's on his way. It's the hot guy doing the new stuff and the head coach putting on the throttle and the brake. And that seems to be the most successful way to do things. I think Sark gets lost, and we've talked about this over the season, that he forgets about the run game. And I think that's whenever I hear of a coach forgetting a part of the offense, a vital part of the offense, it's because they're lost in their own thing, and they need somebody else to kind of bounce things off. And that I think if I was to fix anything with the Texas program, when they do have a true heart-to-heart, a true debrief where they look at where the true issues were, I think at the end of the day that would be the fix. Let's just become the CEO instead of the COO.
But I also understand how that's difficult for Sark because he's probably one of the 5 best play callers in college football.
I get it, but that's the sacrifice you make when you move down the hall to the corner office.
Yeah.
Is you don't get to be myopic anymore.
Yeah, it's a tough decision to make, but you're right. It might be the right call. I don't know that he'll do it.
I don't blame him. I do blame him if he doesn't. But I think if you just look around you and look at do the TED Talk, look at what's successful and copy that.
But you'd have to get such a good OC in.
Well, that's the tough life of being a head coach. Yeah, you're going to have to, dude. You're right. Yeah, there are reasons and there's excuses, and let's make things reasons instead of excuses.
Yeah,
and go find that OC then.
Yeah.
Teach him.
Yeah, maybe that would be advantageous, but. Yeah, I understand why he would be hesitant to give up play calling.
That's what got him here.
But also, then you got to have a better play call than that when it's crunch time.
Or you're going to have to build in a fail-safe or a coach that has a break glass in case of emergency. No, coach, no kind of situation, because that was a play call from a dude that was too involved with the offense.
Yeah.
Too in the minutia and didn't see the forest.
And Casey said the coach across from this game made that choice, and now he's playing for a title.
Yep.
Ryan Day wasn't like he wasn't one of the 5 best play callers in the world either.
His OC is, though.
He's pretty freaking good. Yeah. All right, we'll look at that Notre Dame Penn State game coming up next, and then we'll dig deep into the NFL games that happened this weekend. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville. South Texas College Football Headquarters is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
And the most wonderful time of the year for fans. Bowl season is no exception. The biggest and best matchups this bowl season are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear them all on South Texas' first and only FM sports station, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org.
Divorce is a fight. If you don't want to get knocked out of the ring by your spouse, then you need an aggressive law firm with a stable of hard-hitting attorneys at your disposal. Contact Barton & Associates today. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. It's just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Pizza craving? We've got you covered. At Round Table Pizza, we've been crafting pizzas with premium, high-quality ingredients for over 60 years. From our made-from-scratch dough to our savory toppings piled all the way to the edge. Find your nearest location or order delivery at roundtablepizza.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We do have a stall on the far north side of town on 1604 eastbound Redland Road. Disabled vehicle blocking the right lane. 35 southbound Riddiman, we've got a stall. It's off to the shoulder, starting to fill in now along Highway 90 eastbound 211 on over to Hunt Lane. That accident at Loop 410 northbound southbound 35 to Somerset has cleared. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The Washington Commanders capped off a busy weekend of football with a 23-20 doink win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The national championship is set as Notre Dame will face Ohio State after they beat Texas 28-14. The Irish and Buckeyes will battle it out in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta a week from today. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. SynergenicsHealth.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Rolling on through on a Monday. Rob and AJ, Morning Huddle, 94.1. Vic, how was your weekend, friend?
It was good.
What'd you do? Anything exciting?
No, I just stayed home, saved money. You spend money when you go places.
Big steak, though.
Yeah.
You ate a big fatty.
Oh, big huge
steak.
ribeye. Yeah. I loved
Good for you, man.
Peppercorn and garlic salt.
Good for you. I had a chicken fried steak yesterday. I haven't had one in a long time.
Oh, I haven't had one of those either.
From Bentley's? Where'd you go?
No, I had it while I was playing cards at SA Guard
Oh,
House.
nice.
Yeah, I had that.
What's the name of the restaurant there?
Foster's Bar and Grill. Yeah, I played cards all weekend. I played in a charity tournament on Saturday, and they had the cheapest cards. And my hand, I've got paper cuts all over my hands.
Oh God!
From
Occupational hazard
cards.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so my fingers are all chopped up, and then I'd qualified for that tournament on Sunday, and I showed up, and there were 36 of us left to split up $50,000. The guy who got first place won over $10,000.
Good weekend.
Yeah, I didn't. I came in 21st place, so not first place. But I made 500 something bucks. Not a bad day. Not a bad. I'll take it.
I'll take it. Won't go broke making a profit.
But yeah, I had a chicken fried steak and some mashed taters. So that's good. It's good.
Stick to your ribs.
Country food right there. The Notre Dame Penn State game didn't quite have the buzz of the other game. I saw the ratings, didn't quite have the ratings of the other game. Not really a surprise.
It was a better game than I think a lot of people thought it was going to be.
Yeah, not a sexy matchup, though, I don't think, at the end of the day, for most of the world.
No, but you'd have thought there'd have been more Midwestern rooftops. I thought this was I thoroughly enjoyed it. It felt like an old school, like we talked about it was going to be. There was a little bit more offense than we thought, especially in the fourth, but I'm surprised the ratings weren't what they were.
The fact that game went over is such a kick in the balls.
I know, late they found their offense.
I mean,
because it doesn't represent what we watched.
Dude, it was 10-10 going into the fourth quarter. Like they couldn't score if their life depended. And you're like, oh my God, what a brilliant play betting the under here. No, friend, we got news for you. But yeah, 27-24, the final. Notre Dame gets the win, and. This was kind of another example of There's a lot falls on the hands of the old ball coach there. Poor James Franklin, boy, his face.
Sad James.
Oh,
Sad James.
Really? Like when that Penn State has a lead with 5 minutes left. They're up by a touchdown, and long pass to who was it? Greenhouse.
That made him a superstar, made him
Yep.
what he wanted. And here we sit. We got our championship, and we look at all the games previous. Is there one that stuck out that you go, wow? Because we haven't had a bad game.
I mean, I think this was the Penn State Notre Dame game is the best game of the playoffs
Yeah,
so
it was
far.
an extraordinary game. There wasn't extraordinary play. It was a great game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best game that we've had so far.
Well, the Texas-Ohio State game, we're talking about down to the last second. I mean, if you're an Ohio State fan, they'd beg to differ. But, I mean, it did have an extraordinary play to close the door. And even though it didn't go the way that most of the fans around here wanted to go, boy, what an electric finish if you didn't have a dog in the fight. Another great game there. This hasn't been, and rarely does, live up to expectations. But I think I certainly enjoyed the weekend. I didn't feel let down by anything that I've seen in any of these playoffs. Some of them go as chalk, but I just wish I had a little something more. I felt like both these games were more about who lost it than who won it, and that's kind of nitpicking. But I do think that we're headed toward kind of a letdown finish.
It wasn't dissimilar in that, Drew Aller had a chance to make, which, by the way, now this is again though, just my opinion. Asking Drew Aller to throw in that spot is on James Franklin.
No, the game was lost 2 plays prior. No, you're right. And just like the game was lost for yours, it was lost 2 plays prior. When you ran sideways instead of to the line of scrimmage or to the goal line, you lost the game because you lost your edge. You lost the hand. And when Aller's, when they, I think it was 2 plays prior when there was a little flat pass when he didn't have the opportunity to go downfield, you doomed him. You forced him into a situation that he could not be successful.
Well, now there's only one left. Only one game to go, friends. And that is the national championship game where Ohio State actually Notre Dame's taking a little bit of money. It's pushed down to 7.5. The first number I got was 10.
Yeah.
And I was really my numbers said I should certainly be betting Notre Dame plus 10. But I also am a little hesitant to really back my season-long numbers during these playoffs because it's a different animal. It really is.
It is. This is not.
My numbers have Ohio State 4.5 points better on a neutral.
I put a 1 in front of that.
Jeez, I don't know about that. Listen, what I will say is, in Notre Dame's defense is very capable of holding up against.
But they're banged up. We're down 2, maybe 3 starters now.
I just don't know where they score.
That's
the problem for them. Is and I know they put up some points against Penn State, but I mean that was with the first 3 quarters. What did I text you?
Yeah,
poverty offense.
It was poverty, and both teams playing for the other team to make a mistake.
Yep.
It worked for Notre Dame, but it won't. That style ain't gonna work against Ohio State.
Total in that game 46.5. Man,
unless there's an injury there, I'm betting everything toward the Buckeyes. Points, halftime total yard, all of them. It just seems like such a mismatch other than the Notre Dame mystique. And that does matter.
Oh, what matters? It doesn't matter to me. Or, I mean, it matters only to me, but probably not to most people. I will say this about Notre Dame, though. I like their coach.
Yeah,
I like
too.
Marcus Freeman. He's really grown on me. He's a guy who's easy to cheer for, and Ryan Day is the exact opposite. So,
Remember when Ryan Day was the guy we cheered for? Was
no,
there ever a time?
Never in my life. No.
I always aspired to have a G.I. Joe beard, and he's one of the guys I always looked at like, how do you keep that line so straight?
It's like it's spray painted on his face. Like he has to put on a mask, and then they go,
I think he does.
And then he takes the mask off, and there it is.
Majestic. It's perfect.
But I find myself, I did not make a wager on this game. I have not yet. I don't know that I will, but if I see Ohio State -7, yeah, I'll probably have to bet Ohio State. I don't think I will, though. I don't think I'll see a 7. But as someone, so when I don't have any money on a game, I can just cheer for someone. The idea that I will be probably cheering for Notre Dame in the national title game is something I never thought I would say.
Well, I think you're going to be cheering for them to cover. Is that what you're hoping for?
No, I hope they would win. I mean, that would be the best case scenario, but I don't think it'll happen. But it would be nice. I would much rather see Marcus Freeman hold up a trophy than Ryan Day.
I don't see it being within 14 points. I think it's probably going to be 17 or better.
Ohio State, what they've done in these playoffs is impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget a month ago, they got their ass kicked by Michigan, who is about as garbage of a team as you'll see.
No, they're not as garbage. I mean, they're a competitive football. Yeah, they got their ass kicked, but that's not this team. What?
You know what it is? It's a poverty offense that was able to hold down Ohio State.
What that Ohio State defense, what they did for the last month, and just count the great athletes that they have put away and put down. And then think about the offense and what they didn't do and couldn't do against Texas that they're going to be able to do against Notre Dame. I guarantee you Jeremiah Smith's going to be mentioned a little bit more often than he was against Texas. There's just no way you're going to keep a guy of that caliber out. So add another touchdown. Those two running backs for Texas are better than any running back that Notre Dame has on their roster. Both of them. This feels
they
very
do have a
much
running quarterback
that the two lessers played, and Franklin had a better team in a way. The quarterback for Notre Dame, he's a gamer. I like him a lot. I don't know if he's an NFL quarterback, but he's a hell of a pro college quarterback.
There was a couple years ago, when he was at Duke, people were like, he's going to be the number one pick.
He could be. He's a gamer.
He's not going to be that. But
I don't know.
He's good.
But I think he's enough to kind of make things interesting. But I promise you, he's got an interception in him, probably too. I just don't think this is going to be even close. And until I start seeing something from Notre Dame that tells me they got something else to bring to the table, which I don't think I'm going to see over the next week, I like Ohio State in a lot of different ways. I just think that Penn State and Notre Dame were so far behind Texas and Ohio State as far as quality of play and coaching and everything that matters to me that they're already a distant second.
And obviously this playoff has been, like, the format, I think it could use some tweaking, but in general, I think everybody's excited with the 12 teams.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
I thought I made, like, the most obvious sarcastic comment on Twitter. I said, wow, we had all these bad games, and then we have 2 good semifinals when we're down to 4. Someone should consider a 4-team playoff. Like, and obviously the 1 through 4 seeds were already eliminated, and I assume people would get the sarcasm, and they're like, these teams wouldn't even be in it. Well, it's like, you think, friend? You don't think the 5 and 8 seed would have been like, okay?
And you were a naysayer. There are a lot of us this time last year that were looking at what next year could be, and what's the point? Well, we need 4. I think everybody, even the antis after this, go, well, yeah, this is better.
Good.
This is better.
It's been good.
There's obviously kinks, and we need to figure out, how valuable is a conference title. I think that's probably the key question going into next year. How much do we want to value this? And then postseason seeding. Other than that, I think we're exactly where we want to be. We're not going to have the best championship game, but that doesn't mean there can't be off years and a dominant champion. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think Ohio State, if they do what I think they do, should go down as one of the better college football teams in the last 5-6 years. They're not an all-time great. You don't lose to Michigan and be an all-time great,
right.
But they will be, at the end of the day, there'll be no question. We have a national champion. No, we could have been, should have been. No, there's no disputes. They are the title holder, and probably by a good margin by the time things are said and done.
Yeah, more than likely. I will say this. This is the downside to the new 12-team format is that the 2 biggest upsets of the regular season mean absolutely nothing, because the 2 teams that got upset by teams that they were looked at as significantly better than are still standing playing for a national title. Never forget that this Notre Dame team lost outright at home to Northern Illinois.
Yep.
And Ohio State lost outright to a Michigan team that people thought they were going to beat by 40. So that was always my complaint about the 12 team format was it lessens the value of the regular season, and those moments, Northern Illinois beating Notre Dame was one of those moments where it's like, wow, in the past Northern Illinois just took Notre Dame's season away from them, and that was one of the I don't know, at least for me, was one of the cool things about college football is that college football was the only sport where it felt like there was a playoff happening every single week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gone now. It's 100% gone. Unless you're a G5 team, and then the G5 teams know they've got to win all their games to have any shot. But if you play in a big boy conference, we lost. Big deal.
But it's a give and take because coaches are going to bitch that you can't take away the value of a conference title because that's the one thing that I can aim toward every year and point toward an Arizona State. Every year I can put together a team, no matter who I am. I can be picked last in my conference, Indiana, whatever you might say, and I can come and go chase that, and there should be some value in that because that's imminently attainable. I'm not going to have a team that's ready for a national championship, but once every 10 years, and I'm talking about a high-end program. Seriously, it just doesn't happen that often. But the giveaway from that is you're allowed to now come back from a terrible loss.
Yes.
You're allowed now to lose to Northern Illinois and come back and play for a national championship. Wherein before, if you're arguing the title, the conference championship's the thing, if that was still the thing, you'd be done, dude. So there's some give and take for your head coaches. And yes, your conference championship really isn't that important anymore. But at the same time, it affords you the ability to lose to Northern Illinois, to lose to Michigan late, and still have a great team and go win a championship. And I think at the end of the day, coaches, at least on the upper echelon, those Power Fives and better, would much prefer this system other than let's just make the conference championship the real thing we're chasing. And then everything else.
Well, it takes pressure off these coaches.
Absolutely. You can survive a Northern Illinois loss.
Because that's forgotten now. The Northern Illinois loss is forgotten.
We lose some drama, but we gain the great team.
Yeah.
So I get it. But, I'm coming from the basketball world. I'm used to this. Duke, there's so few undefeated teams in basketball that when you get them, you're just waiting for them to get beat because you just don't.
Yeah, last week the last ones fell.
So the great ones lose. And you schedule great teams so that when you do play in the playoff, you're ready for that.
Yeah. But there was something kind of, at least to me, kind of romantic about you've got to be on every week. If you want to be the national champion, you can't just be good. You've got to be great for 13 weeks in a row.
And we sacrifice that for attainability.
Well, and we sacrifice that for this month of play. And I'm not opposed to it, but it certainly needs some tweak. Like the seeding thing, they've got to fix that. And this year was especially fortunate that we had the playoff because this would have been, Georgia would have been one of the 4 teams, although who knows if they would, I don't think they would have left out the SEC champion just because their quarterback got hurt.
They did it to Florida State.
But that's not the SEC champion.
Right, I know.
You know what I mean?
If Georgia, they had every right to be afraid that it was possible.
Yeah. And had the SEC champion been left out of this thing, heads would have rolled.
Mm-hmm.
But this was obviously it's obviously been a rousing success for college football. I do think they need a couple tweaks though with the seeding stuff, but they're going to get this thing figured out. Like Arizona State and Boise State shouldn't have buys. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, we'll fix that.
But overall, just been a good time. All right, we'll get into some college or some NFL on the other side. I got to tell you about my good friends over at Carbach. I was drinking some Hopadillo. They had that at the charity poker tournament. All the Hopadillo I could drink. What a deal, And you sit down. You're giving money to charity, but you get free Hopadillo. You can't beat that. They had Love Street too, but I was a Hopadillo man on Saturday. In your face IPA, nice hop profile, and just a very, if you like an old school IPA, very bitter IPA, which I do like. Love Street is the easy drink and the smooth, the blonde Kolsch style ale, and then of course they've got Crawford Bock. which is my favorite daily drinker from Karbach. But they've got beer for everybody's palate. Whatever you're into, they've got something to suit your fancy, and they're all over San Antonio. So go to the HEBs, you're going to find it. You go to your liquor stores, you're going to find it. But most bars and restaurants, you might not think you're going to find it there, but you probably are. So when you're out tonight, even watching this Rams game, this Rams Vikings game, before you go see my boy Sam Darnold sling it around, ask your bartender, pretty please, make it a Karbach.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
So what if I need a new one?
We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
And what about my old battery?
We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. It's just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson for Prize Picks, the best place to get real money on your sports action. Me and 10 million other people are playing every day, and now's the time to do it. Have you ever heard of this? You've got a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. You can run your season all game long, and now 1,000 times your cash? Heck, I've been a Prize Picks player for a long time. I've not seen this. 1,000 times your cash. It's playoff time. It's now or never. Don't miss out on the fun in the last few weeks of the football season. Prize Picks is the best place to play. Up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get the action on the sports that you're playing, and now you can get up to 1,000 times your cash. Join over 10 million members. Play today. And if you sign up today, you get up to $50 instantly when you play. Use the code ALAMO. Sign up today for 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks. Run your game.
You've decided to divorce. I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you're worried about getting the bills paid, childcare, and your divorce, we'll help make it simple, painless, and affordable.
Your future matters. Call the law office of Steve Benke.
Call 210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
It's showtime. Let's do it. It's fun time. Here we go.
South Texas home of the 12-team college football playoff is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. All of the matchups are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear every game on South Texas' first and only FM sports station. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Whoop. Whoop, whoop. Morning Huddle 94.1. What a weekend of playoff football in the NFL too, friends. Good times indeed as we've got 5 of the 6 out of the way, 1 to go. And I think we're in for a pretty decent one tonight too. between the Rams and the Vikings. Sammy Darnold, Matt Stafford going at it. I think that I guess we'll start with the Texans, who were, of course, the first game, as they always are. But I thought that was about as complete of a game as I've seen them play.
They beat San Diego at their own San Diego. They beat the Chargers at their own game.
Yeah, they look good.
As much as you celebrate what the Texans did, I think that there needs to be a very bright light on the Chargers. What the hell was that?
Well, listen, man, you've had that was one of the most, and I am as big of a Justin Herbert defender as you will find. I truly believe there is no person on earth who is better at throwing a football than Justin Herbert. Yet somehow he's like a mid-level quarterback. I don't understand how that works.
Under different OCs, under different head coaches, under systems. What's going on?
But how this man had 3 interceptions all season long and then throws 4 against the Texans in the playoffs, it's like, I don't even know what to do with it. I really don't. It was about as dreadful of a performance as he could have possibly had in that situation. Now, not all those interceptions were his fault, but he also didn't do anything that was going to keep them in that game anyway. He had a garbage game.
He looked like sunshine. Looked like Trevor.
I mean, it was really disappointing for a guy who, I mean, think about his stat line in the regular season: 3,870 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 3 picks. And his team was 11-6. You're like, whoa, this guy has really taken a step. And then that.
I don't know what you
what
do there.
What in the hell? Well, you're in a real pickle because he's obviously got the skill set to be one of the best in the world.
Mm-hmm. How many OCs has he had? How many head coaches has he now had? 3?
Is it 3 head coaches? 2 or 3? I think he had a year and then Staley and then a year of Harbaugh. So, yeah. But I think he's had 4 offensive coordinators.
I don't know if that's the culprit. I know you're right. When he stands in the pocket and delivers the ball, there's nothing prettier. It's a tight spiral. It's on a rope, but he's always accurate.
There's no one better at throwing a ball.
What the hell? So,
yeah.
I mean, that's a discussion that I don't know the answer to, but let's look on the other side of this. Can we love on the Texans for just a minute? That was a team that was rolling into the playoffs a lot like the Steelers. That you were like,
oh, God, they look like a corpse.
A valiant effort, guys, but the film's out, and we'll see you next year once you tweak the problems. And they beat the Chargers at their own game. They out-hit them, they outrun them, and they out-executed them. The better quarterback on the field was the young kid, and I would not have thought I'd have said that.
Well, he's been pretty bad all year long, or at least pretty mediocre all year long.
You talk about youth will be served. He just looked like the quarterback for the modern era. And Herbert looked like a dude playing from 2005, still standing straight, delivering the ball in the pocket, and punting on 4th down.
Well,
it was just a dichotomy of a team that came to win and a team that came to not lose.
Well, the one bright spot for the Chargers was Ladd McConkey. You have found a number 1 wide receiver. My goodness, is that guy a playmaker? 9 catches, 197 yards, and a touchdown. 197 receiving yards. Justin Herbert had 242 passing yards, so that should tell you all you need to know. The downside of the Chargers wide receivers, Quentin Johnston, who I thought had kind of like maybe gotten himself a little bit better this year, that dude drops every key pass thrown his way. And I'm not going to defend Justin Herbert at all because he stunk, but his guys did him no favors on really, really easy conversions that they're just dropping. But then again, there was a 4th and 4 that they had to go for it, and Herbert throws behind the sticks, and they end up a yard short, and it's like, dude, why? They're such a confusing, and really they've been a confusing team the entirety of Justin Herbert's career because you know they should be better than what they are. That is a real weird team. There's some weird mojo in that building. But this Texans win was huge, and I don't know if they can carry this into Kansas City.
The momentum is going to matter. That's all I can say. It's gravy from here on out, but I'll say this. They come and they hit like that, and they play like there's no tomorrow like CJ did. They got a puncher's chance, and that's really all Texan fan could have asked for.
Well, the Texans against some of the top-tier quarterbacks this season have been very, very good.
Well, think of this. By the time Mahomes and Kelsey suit up, they will have not played in a little over 3 weeks. You gotta take this momentum and get on them early.
Yeah.
You just got to roll in there with a plan of, we got to get out of this first quarter with a 10-point lead. Because we know that Kansas City is going to find something. They're going to get there, but we got to play from ahead. We cannot be behind. And they got the momentum, and they're going to play a team, but with a bunch of old dudes that's going to take a minute to get loosened up. And if you get that momentum, they got a shot. And I don't think I would have even dreamed of saying that, even if they had won a different way. But the way they won against the Charger team that was just trying to play possum, to just hold the ball and wait for you to make a mistake. That was just a Harbaugh idea that was just misplaced. It was a terrible idea. You don't play a team like that on the road. You go in and you take it from them. And Harbaugh wanted to, we'll let the Texans give it to us. Eventually they will. And they never did.
Josh Allen played poorly. Again, he was 9 of 30 against the Texans defense. Jared Goff threw 5 picks against this Texans defense. Justin Herbert just threw 4 after throwing 3 in 17 games, and then he throws 4. I mean, the Texans defense is capable of really giving these top-tier quarterbacks issues. By the way, this is a crazy Justin Herbert stat. Justin Herbert just had the worst EPA per play in a playoff game since 2000.
I don't know what I do.
450th out of 450. He had a negative 0.73 EPA per play, which means every time he dropped back,
they lost yards.
They lost 3/4 of a point. Not yards, 3/4 of a point every time he snapped the football and dropped back with it. That is horrendous.
So what do? You've tried every possible offense with OCs that have been successful with lesser. I mean, you look, Kellen Moore came and went, and I guess not everywhere. Look at what happened to Jalen Hurts. But you've tried different things. You went downfield. You went controlled. You went West Coast. You went run game and opportunistic, and nothing has worked.
I think what you have to do is you have to look at the developments he made this regular season and say he just had a really bad day, and you hope that there's because it's. I mean, he's already paid. He's your guy.
Well, he is until you decide he's not.
I mean, if they decided he's not, there will be people lined up around the building. I
agree, and this is a franchise that held on to Phillip Rivers till the bitter end because they knew they had him a quarterback. It wasn't his fault.
And are you going to find someone better than him?
But my goodness, at some point, I think we crossed a pivot point with young Mr. Herbert. He is no longer the boy with unlimited potential. He's now the one that has not lived up to it.
Yep, no doubt. As far as the Texans, though, I don't think there's much reason to think they can't hang around with the Kansas City Chiefs.
No one thought they had this is still a Texans team that performed below average most of the year. The good news is they're going against a Chiefs team that did too.
Despite being 16-1, 15-2. I guess they lost the last game of the regular season.
We count that one?
I mean,
I guess we
you can't give it a win.
Yeah.
But the numbers out. The Texans are 8.5-point dogs in Kansas City.
That's about right.
What do I say every time? If you get Kansas City more than -3, you need to bet against them, and it works almost every single time this year, doesn't it?
And 24 days of rest with those old bodies. It's not. They're going to not start on fire. They're not. It just doesn't happen that way. It'd probably be about 35 degrees at kickoff, which be a negative in the long term for the Texans, but in the short term for the old dudes, it takes a while to get that motor running.
It's funny. I think I looked it up yesterday, and Texans actually lucked out. Texans fan they were already bitching because they got the very first game on Saturday next week. Also, they're going to kick off the weekend playoffs next week, but they're like, oh, of course we're the first game. But Saturday, the low in Kansas City is 41. Sunday, the low is 31.
There you go.
So you almost
hey, it's those little things when the football gods smile on you. You got to take advantage, and that's one of those little benefits. You got lucky.
Yep. The other matchups that have been set so far: the Commanders plus 8.5 at Detroit, and the Bills 1.5 point favorites hosting the Baltimore Ravens. And then, of course, the Vikings and the Rams tonight will decide that last playoff game. Who gets to go up again? Who's the other team that I'm? Oh, who gets to go up against the Eagles?
Right.
Vikings favored by 2.5. I would say at the Rams, but it's
Glendale
in Arizona.
Still another
against
time
the
zone.
Rams.
Still a time zone, Joe.
Yeah, but during the playoffs they get out so early it doesn't even matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
We'll go on to the next game, but yeah, I thought the Texans. If you were saying we need a reason to believe as Texans that they can do something, you got one. Like if you're a Texans fan and you were looking for a glimmer of hope, they gave you one because they needed that kind of a performance, and that was in a game where they were a 3-point home underdog to the Chargers, who I don't think anybody looked at as a top tier team. So they were just saying the Texans are just flat out below average. Like you're now a below average football team.
Yep.
And the Texans came out and I thought made a real statement that no, we're better than you think we are. The Steelers-Ravens game was
who's the best team you've seen play this weekend so far?
Jeez.
It's Baltimore, man.
I
know it was the worst team in the playoffs.
The Bills won by 24 points.
And they looked spectacular against a team that thought they had a chance there for about 4 or 5 minutes. But the Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson combo.
Derrick Henry, my goodness.
Oh, now I don't know if he was even the best back in the playoffs
No.
watching Saquon. Well, no,
He was
I'm
better
just
than
saying.
Saquon yesterday.
But both those dudes carried their teams to wins. And Lamar was spectacular.
26 carries, 186 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Derrick Henry.
That game on Sunday, Buffalo, Baltimore, this is going to be one for the ages, man. It really is. It is the rock and the hard place, the fire and the kettle. It is all of that.
It's a legacy game for both of those quarterbacks.
It's so much at stake. When are we going to get an MVP? When do we find out who wins this thing?
In the week between the conference championships and the Super Bowl.
We're another week away, week and a half
2
away.
weeks away, yeah.
From finding out. It's too bad. One of these guys is going to be pissed, and rightfully so.
I don't think Lamar would be pissed. He's already got 2 in his bag.
Dude, he's the best player in the NFL.
I don't know.
Oh, he's the best player. He's not. Not Josh Allen is the most valuable player in the league. Without him, Buffalo is. Dallas.
He's not better than Patrick Mahomes.
An overall arch of career, no, but no one else is either. But right now, the 2 best players are going to go against each other. The one that is the best and the one that is the most valuable, and it's going to be absolutely extraordinary because these 2 guys, the weather doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're talking about C.J. Stroud. Is it going to be under 40, over 40? It don't matter.
Yeah.
We got the 2 best going at it. It's going to feel like a Super Bowl by the time we kick it off.
Well, it's so funny because even though C.J. Stroud and Patrick Mahomes statistically had underperforming seasons, at the beginning of the year, everybody was looking at the AFC and saying these 4 guys, these 4 quarterbacks that are left are the cream of the crop. C.J. Stroud was way nowhere near the cream of the crop in the regular season, but these were the 4 guys. In fact, I think these were the 4. Were these the 4 favorites for the NFL MVP? I think they were the 1 through 4.
Yes.
To like in the preseason, the favorites to be the MVP this season were these 4 guys, the 4 quarterbacks in the AFC semifinals. But the Steelers, I mean, God, their offense is such garbage, and it's basically like
don't turn reasons into excuses.
Remember
what you said
throw
on Friday.
A ball to the moon.
Friday we have to go back to what you said on Friday. This is a Tomlin coach team that understands what is required to win in the playoffs, and they got dismantled.
I mean, they lost 28-14.
The final score did not represent what we saw. We all know it.
Oh, I know.
I mean, they got battered. They were not even close, and they were a good team, not a great one, who was staggering. And the other team that was staggering managed to find a way to win. I just the way that Baltimore played, they played like a team that had more in the tank. They didn't have Zay Flowers. The way that Buffalo responded to that right hook they took to the jaw from Sean Payton in that first offensive drive, which was picture perfect. You could not start a playoff game any better than the Denver Broncos did.
Oh, no way.
And at that point, you could see Josh Allen on the sideline go, all right, it's on. And there was no looking back, man. Extraordinary.
I think that it's funny. The Steelers, their whole identity, like when I think about the Steelers, I always think about like defense and run the football, toughness. Their offensive line gets no push. Like they're soft. And 11 carries for 29 yards. That's what you muster in a playoff game.
And that's a couple of games in a row that they've completely – they're average running backs, but you've got to use them.
Dude, and you're just putting too much on Russell Wilson. Like, he's not good enough to be that guy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And like, Russ sometimes he'll take off and think like he's, 10 years ago Russ, and then he's easily caught and spun down, and he acts like he just can't believe. Like, dude, you're not that guy anymore. Like, who do you think you are now? Like, are you?
Well, a month ago he was that guy.
Russell Wilson, when?
A month ago when he was doing those but it's been a month. They've lost, now 5 consecutive. But 5 games ago, Russell was doing those old Russell things that we couldn't believe he was actually doing.
It's funny because I think, like, since Russ took over the starting job, they were like 6-6. And when you look at, if they finished 10-7, that means that Justin Fields was doing okay.
I look back, and this is another thing that when you look back on what Tomlin did with the Steelers, it was a hell of a coaching job because there's not a lot of talent there. There really isn't. And he covered it up for as long as he could, and finally there was film out. But it was still a blood and guts AFC rock fight of a game that shouldn't that the score represented the kind of game it was, though Baltimore dominated that game. It was never in question.
The thing about Tom, and there was a guy I was with yesterday who was saying he's a Steelers fan. He wanted Tomlin fired. And I said, he's not going to get fired.
No.
The thing about Tomlin is he will take a 6-win roster and make them win 10 games. And he will take a 13-win roster and make them win 10 games. He is going to win 10 games.
Well,
he is,
Well, and he's got Super Bowls. Well, what did Jimmy Johnson say yesterday? I think the Cowboys and the Steelers should have a coaching change.
He's got a Super Bowl that he won a long, long time ago with Bill Cowher's players and has been just kind of coasting since.
I'm not going to go there, man. He's one of the better coaches in this modern era. He's a top 10 coach of all time. I'm not going to go anywhere other than he's a
top 10 coach of all time with one Super Bowl.
Oh, come on. Look at his record. Look at who he's gone consistently against. Tomlin is one of the better coaches to ever lace him up. I'm not going to go any further than he had an under-talented team, and he might be coaching a style that has kind of left the league, but he is still one of the best to ever do it.
But that's the other thing is he's going to win 10 games every year, even with under-talented teams, which gives you very little chance to get better.
That's the other problem. He's never going to have a lot of talent because of his just better than average.
Yep,
style.
He's on the high end of mediocrity, and that's enough to get you in the playoffs and not get you a good draft pick. And you're stuck with Russell Wilson at quarterback.
Well, yeah, I think that was a tactical error, but I'm not ready to get rid of Tomlin by any stretch. And I was mad at him earlier. I felt like that whole balancing act with young guy, old guy, forgetting your wide receivers. But I think some of it's, I think you put it best, a product of his just above mediocre. You're just never going to have the dudes.
All right, well, we'll talk about these Sunday games on the other side. Morning Huddle 94.1.
Dr. Jacob Torres has been my physician for quite a while. And as this new year has gone, the gym memberships jumped up, everybody working out and feeling good about themselves. And then I think we're coming up on Quitters Friday. I believe that's coming up. The thing about Dr. Torres is there's no quitting. Once you get involved with this, you're not going to want to quit because you can see results. You know, so many of us start a weight loss program because we've seen or read about something that said, oh, you're going to lose whatever X amount of pounds before you know it. And you do. You lose the weight, and then before you know it, it's all back on because you're living the life you used to live. To stay thinner, to lose the weight and stay healthy, there has to be a lifestyle change. And that's why Dr. Torres has been so successful. He will guide you in getting to where you want to be. And more importantly, he'll teach you how to stay where you want to be. And that's why I've been going to see Dr. Torres for so long. I want that for you. The number you need to talk to him and let him explain to you why he's been so successful is 210-468-1891. If you want to go to the website and correspond that way, it's iffhealth.com. But either way, talk with Dr. Torres. Let him explain to you why he's done so many great things with guys like me who really didn't think they could lose any kind of weight. I'm 80 pounds down and still go see Dr. Torres. Listen to me. If you've resolved to lose the weight, if it's time, whether a doctor has told you or you're just sick of looking in the mirror what you see, and I want you to call him today because what he does works. It won't be the easiest thing you ever done. It'll be the best. Call him today. Change your life. And come on by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Your commute definitely starting to fill in on 1604 eastbound at Redland Road. That's a stall right lane. A stall at 410 eastbound Austin Highway off to the shoulder. Rolling stop and go on 90 eastbound 211 over to Hunt Lane. That's going to take you about 15 minutes to get through. And about a 10-minute ride right now on 35 southbound FM 1103 on down to 1604. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
Now at North Park Chevrolet, buy a new 2024 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab, posted at $34,999. Lease for $370 a month with zero down. Get 3.9% financing for 75 months on new 2025 Silverado Crew Cab Texas editions. And save $10,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Silverado heavy duty trucks. Together, let's drive at North Park Chevrolet. 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville or at npchevy.com. Must qualify for financing offers. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
Is health or fitness a goal this year? Great news. The King of Paddle has arrived in San Antonio with 8 pickleball and 6 paddle courts. Their indoor facility suits all skill levels from beginners to seasoned players. Mark your calendar for their January 18th and 19th winter tournament. Find details at thekingofpaddle.com or at the King of Paddle SA on social media. Visit their new downtown location at 314 Nolan Street or check out the new King of Paddle facility with us this Thursday as we broadcast the Blitz live from 2 to 6.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? Because I guarantee you, she does. I'm Gary Barton with Barton & Associates. If you're considering divorce, then contact Barton & Associates today at texasdivorce.com. That's texasdivorce.com.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with autopay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without autopay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
What is a sex giantess?
Well, she's a big girl. By big, I mean tall. And apparently there are short dudes that are very attracted to that, and they want to like live in her cleavage and her tiny. I mean, is that like a fantasy? It's like, I want to live in your crotch for a while?
Well, define a while.
Well,
I mean, the way you say that.
No.
Ride home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
This is Jason Minix from the Blitz. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I was telling Rob, I got a fortune cookie last night, Vic.
Let me see. Well, you're supposed to finish them with either in bed or with a cheerleader. Right?
Well, I mean, I think this is kind of implied, but I don't think it matters.
What does it say?
It says, your social life will thrive in December.
With a cheerleader. Or in bed. See, I've never... That's,
in December?
That sucks.
You open up that, you're like, oh, hey, my social life will thrive.
I think you got a stale cookie.
In 11 months.
I think you got a cookie that should have been eaten in November.
I'll make a friend in that's going to be
12
awesome.
short months from now.
I can't wait to make a friend next, December. Wow. Thanks, fortune cookie.
You got to do a lot of things to kind of make a friend. So you got some time to fix.
Yeah, I'm not great at making friends generally.
You're going to have to really change your altitude. You got some time, though.
Like, you saw on, was it Saturday that Minix was like, hey, I'm at the Roo Pub, sent in the group chat, like, I'm at the Roo Pub. Oh, and Minix was like, yeah, or Pledger was like, yeah, let's go, let's hang out. And I'm just like, yeah, the drink alone club.
Yeah. I'm at the smoke alone club.
The get drunk alone club.
That's I drink alone. Isn't that a George Thorogood song? Just me and my old granddad. I drink alone.
Oh, and didn't Jason have like the face palm? Like,
yeah, he's like,
come on.
I mean, because Minix is a very sociable guy. Like he loves being around people.
I'm opposite of that.
I am too. I like. Nope. I mean, I like having friends, but I just don't like actually going out and doing things.
Yeah, I don't like
especially
people.
At like.
I don't like people.
11 o'clock. I'm old. 11 o'clock.
My
That's when
bedtime
I'm coming
is
home.
9.
What are you talking about? Meet you at 11.
I eat at 5 and go to bed at 9.
11? And I have good happening out 11 o'clock at night.
I have a bunch of good booze at my house.
So,
like, I mean, Rob's seen my dining room is essentially a liquor store.
Just a bunch of random unmarked bottles. Just like. I don't know. Let's potluck this one. I'm gonna try the tall green.
I don't need to go out, friends. I have a good time right here in my place. But yeah,
around like Winnie the Pooh, pantsless.
Just wait,
with
guys.
With an open bottle with no pulling the cork off with your teeth.
You guys will see. In December, though, I'll be going out.
Oh yeah.
My social life will be thriving.
You have 11 months to prepare.
You are the acorn
yes.
that becomes the mighty oak.
Oh, yes. It's going to be.
You are going to flourish this year. And by December, you are going to be ready to make a friend.
It's right around the corner. I sent this to my wife last night. She's like, oh, well, that's convenient.
Yeah.
You know. Good time making friends, buddy. All right. Again, we've got 3 more football games to discuss from this weekend. Buffalo 31-7 win over Denver. Phillies win 22-10 over the Packers, and the Commanders get an upset win at Tampa 23-20.
Was it an upset?
Yeah, they were 3-point dogs.
Yeah.
They were on the road. Yeah.
I mean, I remember describing the game to my dad. Because what should I look for here? I said, well, Tampa's favored, but Washington probably is going to win this game.
You had, well, I mean, God, Dan Quinn tried his best not to. What an idiot.
Hey, man, I'd rather be lucky than good.
You know what? Good for Dan Quinn getting this team where they are. I mean, I think it's a lot more to do with the kid playing quarterback than it does with Dan Quinn. I don't want Dan Quinn to be my coach. No thanks.
What?
I don't.
Shoot, for 3 years you want him as your coach. On the 4th year, it's time for him to go. But for 3 years.
Yeah, I don't want him. I'm good. I think Dan Quinn's a fine coordinator. I don't want him to be my head coach. I think he's a dummy. But we'll talk about those 3 games on the other side and what it means for the next round, for the divisional round.
Dan Quinn is a hell of a coach. Just ask him.
I mean, you're welcome to him. All right. It is the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
On your ride to work, it's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville. South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. The one and only Rich Eisen is on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org.
Hey, Dad. Mom wants pizza for dinner. You want to run out?
Sure. I need to get gas anyways. Give me a minute.
Cool. Hey, what's that bottle?
It's stable. You just add it to the fuel tank, and it keeps these engines healthy. When you start driving, I'll put some in your car, too.
Which one do I get?
How much money you got?
At every fill-up, or when you store, start with Stable.
Madame Giselle senses something in your future.
Is my boyfriend gonna propose?
It's a big storm.
Wait, we're gonna get in a fight?
No, a literal storm. Wind, heavy wind. I see a tree falling on your RV.
Oh, that's fine. I'm covered by Progressive. So, is my boyfriend there? Maybe on one knee?
The entire roof is crushed.
So, no ring.
Be prepared for the unexpected with Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Product features subject to policy terms and may not be available in all states or for all vehicles and covered selections.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now, sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first. On your timeline, no waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades at no upfront cost. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first, sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio, and since 1994, I've been representing people and families seriously injured by negligent drivers. Recently, we've all seen advertisements from attorneys here in San Antonio saying their firm does not get paid an attorney fee unless there's a recovery. And maybe you've heard, we don't get paid unless you get paid, or words to that effect. Well, that is what I've been doing for more than 30 years. I honestly did not know that there were attorneys in San Antonio that would represent an injured client and charge a fee if there was no recovery. You see, I practice law with basic principles, one of which is you never need an excuse to do the right thing. If you or a family member has been injured in a vehicle collision, including a commercial or business vehicle, an 18-wheeler, call me. The phone call and consultation is free. If you hire me, I will not get a fee unless there is a recovery. And this has been true for me and my firm for more than 30 years. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
James Fletcher with San Antonio Sports Star here. Have you played Pick 6 from DraftKings? The playoffs are here and time is running out. As the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like no one else. Play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's super easy to get started. Just select 2 or more players, choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. Pick 6 is available in most states including Texas, Missouri, California, Georgia, and more. And DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code KTFM. That's code KTFM for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus award is non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promo.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from Newstalk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Still working a couple of stalls, 35 southbound Eisenhower and 410 westbound Fredericksburg Road. Both of those stalls off to the right shoulder. Right now, it's about a 20-minute ride on 35 southbound FM 1103, making your way on down to Loop 410, and a 15-minute ride Highway 90 eastbound 211 on over to Hunt Lane. That's stop and go. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The Washington Commanders capped off a busy weekend of football with a 23-20 doink win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The national championship is set as Notre Dame will face Ohio State after they beat Texas 28-14. The Irish and Buckeyes will battle it out in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta a week from today. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Rolling into the 8 o'clock hour.
You know, we had so much to do today. I feel like we're behind the 8 ball. We haven't even gotten through games this weekend. We got the Spurs. We haven't talked about the NBA.
Yeah. I mean, there's
McCarthy
a lot going on.
is still flapping in the wind.
A lot going on. Shanahan, LaFleur, Morris, McDaniel, all under the Dan Quinn tree. That's not Dan Quinn's tree, friend. I mean, Kyle Shanahan is not under the Dan Quinn tree.
I disagree with you about Dan Quinn because I do think Dan Quinn was the first of the modern era of coaches.
Explain.
I think he's the first to accept the fact that there are more great athletes that are about 6'6", 225 than anything else that can be found on defense. That is the greatest athletes are about that. So what I'm going to do as a defensive guy is I'm going to manufacture a defense that applies where I can go get the most good dudes. And I think that is the modern idea of coaches. These players are not coming to me fully formed. They're coming good at one thing. They're not coached for 4 years. They're coached for 3. But they do come to me with a specific skill set. And if I can utilize that skill set first and teach them new stuff, then I can win. I think Dan Campbell's the prime example of that. And I think Dan Quinn was the first Dan Campbell 10 years ago. So I like the way that he coaches. Is there something to be desired as far as the strategery and the X's and O's of it? Yeah, there is. But as far as the modern era, dude, he's the guy for the modern athlete.
But also, like, I mean, you look at the Commanders this year, and they weren't good because of their defense.
No, I'm not, but it's the attitude that I am going to adjust what I do, or I'm going to create a system that allows me to just go plug dudes in that might not fit everywhere. You know, I'll play. I mean, Zimmer was both the beneficiary and, well, he also suffered for it. There's a very unique way to play for Dan Quinn, and it involves being a great athlete first. You're not 350 pounds. You're not that. You are a highly skilled, fast player, and he does that on both offense and defense. And yeah, there's some X's and O's issues. I'm not going to say he's the best to walk the sidelines, but when I look at the coaches that are now successful, and Dan Quinn, wherever he lands, teams win and they play for him. I mean,
for a little while.
Well, for a little while, but you know what? How many guys even get that? So I'm not saying that there's not a lifespan on it, because there is. But
and putting together what he did in Seattle, I mean, it's impressive, no doubt.
I think Kingsbury on the offensive side is the same dude, that he is adjusted, but because he's adjusted, there's an alternative. There's an attack mode to it that you can go get. But for a couple of years, with the right guys, it always works. And Dan Quinn's one of those dudes.
Well, I guess let's start with that game from yesterday. Then the Commanders get the win over the Tampa Bay Bucs, and this I know this probably hurts you, but Baker had a Baker moment.
Yeah, he did. There's a reason why Baker is Baker.
And that fumble, Baker Mayfield, 15 of 18, very few mistakes throwing the ball, but he just had the one and that's literally what cost him the game.
That's why Baker is where he is. That's Baker Mayfield summed up. He got you there, but he also took you home. You know what I mean? That summed it up. I'm not mad at him. I think for a lot of that game, he did exactly what was required. But on the good side of it, it was a sin of commission, not omission.
Yeah,
he didn't tuck it. I mean, he was trying to do something, but as is usual, when Baker's involved with trying to do too much, it ended up the wrong way.
Yeah. No, Baker. I think Baker's career resurged. Like I'm not a Baker guy.
I know, but
like what he's done to bring his career back to life is impressive to me. Like it's because I really thought that dude was like circling the drain.
And he's not. He's exactly what we thought he was. He's exactly the Baker Mayfield that I'm happy that he's there. Because if he'd have tried to be the old Baker Mayfield, they wouldn't even be in the playoffs. So, the fact that Mike Evans was fed appropriately, the running game was there. Bowles had a great defensive plan. There just wasn't enough. Well, that was Tampa. I mean, that's kind of what that team was. And I will say this, though, but for Baker, they're not in the playoffs. He's good enough.
Yeah.
But you'll never do it unless he's surrounded by stars. And that's like most of the rest of the league that are, one and done in the playoffs.
But I think the real credit has to go to Jaden Daniels in this game. And Jaden Daniels this year is not dissimilar to C.J. Stroud a year ago.
Exactly the same thing, man. There's just some guys are born with it, and those two were.
Which means probably next year I'm going to say under on all Jaden Daniels stats. I'm going to say he's going to come back to earth.
For all the same reasons.
For the same reasons. The league will adjust to him. And what's funny is statistically, like if you take his raw regular season numbers and stack them next to Caleb Williams, there ain't a whole lot of difference.
No, but winners win and losers lose. That's what they do.
Well, and one guy is just was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL, and the other guy was able to stay pretty clean. Mm-hmm. But Jaden Daniels is really kind of, and I don't mean to like take any credit away from Dan Quinn. He's done a good job, obviously, but so Dan Quinn has helped as well. And Dan Quinn, the defense yesterday was very good. And actually was pretty decent down the stretch overall after a horrific start. At the beginning of the year, it was like, how are they winning games when their defense is this terrible? But they seem to have figured it out. And Jaden Daniels is a guy who's very confident and very tough to handle, man.
Brady was talking about coaches and players, and he brought up the Jimmies and Joes and the X's and O's. And Jaden Daniels is one of those Jimmies that X's and O's be damned. He just is going to make a play He's capable of it at any moment. The only thing that you need to ensure is that you don't impede him as your coach. You allow him to go do some things that you can't plan on. I mean, that touchdown throw to Scary Terry to start the game off, that was ridiculous. I mean, just one of those things that some guys just got it, and he got it and showed it. And Dan Quinn, much like Campbell, are so good at riding the wave. You know, they just are good at keeping these guys involved and not letting mistakes get in the way and just ride the wave. And once he hit that pass, there was no looking back.
By the way, Terry McLaurin is like one of the most quiet, under the radar, great players in the NFL.
He's Andre Johnson, man.
He
Just goes and makes plays, and we go, oh yeah, well look at the quarterback. No, look at the wide receiver.
He doesn't blab his head all day. Like he just catches the ball and he hands it to the ref and gets back to work. I appreciate a guy like that.
Best story of the playoffs? I mean, there's a lot of threads.
Yeah, probably. I mean, so far it probably is.
I mean, because when you can look at Lamar, that thread. You can look at the punch-drunk Chiefs. They're staggering around, but they're still winning. But we need an underdog, and I think this is the underdog. All the other ones are just about. Well, the Texans, I guess, can be considered the underdog left.
And I don't know. I mean, who depends on who wins tonight too.
But if the Rams do, now we got a whole other discussion because it'll go back to are we doing this thing the right way? Are we seeding the right way? Because the poor Vikings take that 14-2 fifth seed to an early grave, you know. Other than that, if the Rams win this thing, we start talking about Peyton, who the better coaches are. McVay is one of the greatest ever.
Well, let's remember that if the Rams win today, McVay's one of the three coaches left that has a Super Bowl ring, along with Andy Reid and John Harbaugh. So it's hard to count that team out. And then Minnesota, if they were to win, I mean, they've been right there all year long. It's a 14-3 football team. And if their last game wasn't such a stinker, I don't think anybody would be just kind of as down on them as we are. But that was what we saw was the worst version of them. And it's like, oh, it's really hard to want to back that team.
Well, it's the worst version that fell into the worst case scenario. You didn't get the bye week. You sacrificed everything to get there. So now you're totally banged up and exhausted. And now you're having to go in against a coach that is a witch. You know, it's like if you got a problem, he already knows about it and is going to exploit it.
Someone asked me the other day, like, because the odds for the Vikings to win the Super Bowl are 16-1, and he asked me, like, what are fair odds on the Vikings? And I said, I think probably 22-1, and he was like, well, what if they would have won against the Lions and they were the 1 seed? I said probably 6-1,
probably, yeah,
maybe plus 550, something like that. Like that's how important that game was.
Ask Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit's glad they don't have to be going to the Rams right now.
I tell you what, they're not.
I mean, they'd be favored, but They don't want to go on the road. No way. What's funny is I wonder if the Lions had won and the Rams were getting their game moved from L.A., if I were the Rams and I was playing the Lions, I would have said, we want an outdoor game. Like, send us to San Francisco. Oh, man, that would have been the play right there. Send us up to San Francisco.
They want a slow track and some fog on top of it, please.
Send us to Seattle. Let's get us outside in the cold and the elements. Give us a chance. The Bills, quite frankly, had the most dominant performance of the weekend. The Broncos had one breath of life. It was on the very first drive of the game, and the Bills said, enough of that.
Hold my beer.
Their defense was elite for the rest of that game, albeit against a Broncos offense that's nothing special. But the Bills decided early on to commit to the run game, and oh boy, did it have success. 44 carries, 210 yards on the ground.
And both those backs were successful. It wasn't just one over the other. They both had holes.
James Cook, 23 for 120. Ty Johnson, 9 for 44. And, of course, you can, like clockwork in a playoff game, you can count on Josh Allen, 8 for 46. He's going to have some big carries. That's just what he does in the playoffs. And 20 of 26 passing, 272 and 2 touchdowns for Josh, who, I mean, he did exactly what you're supposed to do to the Denver Broncos. The Bills did exactly what you're supposed to do to a rookie quarterback starting on the road, which until last night when Jaden Daniels did it, no rookie quarterback had won on the road since Russell Wilson's rookie year, and that was in Washington, ironically. So the Bills did what they needed to do. I don't know that there's a whole lot to say about that. They're headed to, or Baltimore's headed to Buffalo next, and this is, I mean, it's certainly the game of the week next weekend. It's the Sunday night primetime game. That's the game that everybody's waiting for.
I cannot wait.
I am less than confident in the Buffalo Bills. This is the worst case scenario.
It really is. But we do know that's Josh Allen. I mean, that's why you get paid the big bucks. This is why you are one of the top 5 in the world. If you want to be the number 1 dude, you're going to have to go take down the number 1 dude.
Well, and it's also, I mean, while it's easy to say Josh hasn't won the big game yet, and he hasn't, when he's lost, it's typically been to Patrick Mahomes.
Had to change the rules because of it.
And it's typically been on the road. And now he's got a home playoff game where the Bills have not lost a game at home this year. And let's also remember, while all the love for Lamar is deserved, Lamar's another guy who hasn't really lived up to things in the playoffs. So both these guys' playoff reputations are, I mean, I hate to say spotty, but I mean,
this is a legacy game. One of those guys is going to step away with it. One step. They won't be complete because there's still got to be at least an appearance at a Super Bowl to continue to elevate their status because both of them need it. But it will be one of those guys walks away with they're halfway to redemption. Not redemption, but they're halfway to the edification of you are truly one of the greats to ever lace them up. And both of them, when they're done, will be considered that, but I think it'll be manifest in the win next weekend. It's not the Super Bowl, but it's damn close for those two guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty big. And, man, it feels like that the winner of this game is...
They're the best. I got to say it. Baltimore's, if they don't win the Super Bowl, it's going to be a letdown. There's no team playing better than Baltimore is right now, and I haven't had a chance to see Detroit play again, and certainly the Kansas City's going to be well-rested. But Baltimore and Detroit, I feel like are playing the best, and until proven otherwise, that's the Super Bowl. Until I see something different, I'm going to stay with what I thought I saw last week. And Baltimore continued to look like a team that is about to go play in, if not win the Super Bowl. They just look like that to me.
It's hard to... Because it's going to be hard to pick Kansas City, even though it's still Kansas City. If you're going off the eye test of this season, it will be hard to pick Kansas City over the winner of this Baltimore-Buffalo game.
I can't. I just think that the winner walks into the Super Bowl with this game.
That's assuming Kansas City gets by Houston, which I guess isn't a total given. But when I talk about Lamar's playoff shortcomings, I mean he's now up to 3-4 in the playoffs. So he's started to the last 3 appearances in the playoffs. He's gotten himself a win. But again, he still has yet to have more than one win in a playoff season. So yeah, I think that game is going to be huge for both parties. All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at that Eagles-Packers game. And man, this was the Eagles tried to gift wrap things and give it to the Packers, and the Packers just would not take it. We'll talk about it next. Morning Huddle 94.1.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch any big game with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the fights. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
A Gain Scent Bead story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said Maraca, senor, but his nose said, hey, freshest scent ever. Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain Scent Beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing. Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain Scent Beads. Try Gain Scent Beads, way fresher than detergent alone.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson for Prize Picks, the best place to get real money on your sports action. Me and 10 million other people are playing every day, and now's the time to do it. Have you ever heard of this? You've got a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. You can run your season all game long, and now 1,000 times your cash. Heck, I've been a Prize Picks player for a long time. I've not seen this. 1,000 times your cash. It's playoff time. It's now or never. Don't miss out on the fun in the last few weeks of the football season. Prize Picks is the best place to play, up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get the action on the sports that you're playing, and now you can get up to 1,000 times your cash. Join over 10 million members. Play today. And if you sign up today, you get up to $50 instantly when you play. Use the code ALAMO. Sign up today for 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text TIGER to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text TIGER to 321-321. That's TIGER to 321-321.
George gets justice.
At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, we are the ones you can trust. With over 100 years of combined experience, we are committed to helping people in our local community. Get George Salinas Injury Lawyers and put our experience to work for you and your case. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we pay tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks, the unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at H-E-B.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on The Blitz, what a weekend of NFL playoff action. My goodness, we got a lot to react to.
And one to preview with Vikings Rams on Monday night. Plus, we'll have the latest on Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys.
The Blitz starts Monday at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're listening to The Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
All right, Morning Huddle. Feeling like a freak on a leash.
I guess that's this song.
That is this song. Something takes a part of me.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
More than
It's corn.
Yeah.
It's corn. It's got the juice. The Philadelphia Eagles get a win 22-10 over the Packers, who really their own ineptitude cost them this game. Like, the Eagles did everything they could to let the Packers keep hanging around. First of all, the Eagles' offense stunk yesterday.
Well, Saquon didn't.
No, but they couldn't put points on the board. And if it weren't for the Packers fumbling the opening kickoff, I mean, this would have been a totally different game. They gave the Eagles a free 7 points. And after that, it was a rock fight.
It really was. My takeaway from the Packers is, man, if they play with a lot of heart. They're not the smartest team nor the most talented, but that team never quit. Jacobs is the hardest running back in football. They were there till the bitter end, and it shouldn't have even been close. It really shouldn't have been. They're down. Did they even have a wide receiver on the roster by the end of the game?
Not really.
So, and Love was average. He was Jordan Love.
Dude, Love threw 3 picks.
Yeah, I mean, he was Jordan Love.
If we're going to dump on Justin Herbert.
You're right. We should.
We can't give this dude.
But Love was Jordan Love. He's exactly who we thought he was. Philadelphia had the break glass in case of emergency. The fail-safe for Sirianni. I'll tell you, Howie Grossman, the general manager, is brilliant because he has a coach that he doesn't quite trust, and rightfully so. So what did he do? He went and spent money on a running back that when all things start to fail, when all things start to collapse, give it to Saquon, dude. You don't have to be great. You don't have to be a great play caller. You don't have to be a great quarterback. Spend money on your offensive line and hand it to that dude.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. He protected them. Grossman protected his team from themselves by going and paying money for a running back.
They just controlled the game and didn't make mistakes, and Jordan Love made mistakes. Jordan Love had not thrown an interception since November 17th. And then he throws 3 in the playoff game. And, I mean, his interceptions, these weren't like through a receiver's hands into the defenses.
No.
These were just like Justin Herbert had 2 of them that were like, well, I felt bad for Justin Herbert because he's already having a bad day and his receivers then are not helping him. These are just horrific throws from Jordan Love. These interceptions were. And he didn't give them a chance. The Packers should have had a chance, and Jordan Love did not give them this chance.
They played so hard, man. LaFleur's a hell of a coach.
Oh, he's so good.
He's just got an average quarterback, a thermometer, not a thermostat, and he needed help, and he didn't have it, but he had him a running back, and it kept him effective till the end. I give him a lot of credit for Hart, but they weren't even on the same page.
But they married themselves to Jordan Love, and I don't know if he's the guy or not. I didn't like the idea of him at the time. I didn't like paying him when he'd had like a good year. He's going to have to develop if they're going to take the next step.
No, I think you're going to have to treat him like Baker Mayfield. You're going to have to surround him with stars, dude. You're going to have to make sure he's
giving him too much money.
Well, I know, but that's the quarterback that he is. You know now he has to have options. He can't do it alone.
Well, he certainly can't throw 3 picks.
No.
I mean, it's just terrible.
The moment he thinks it has to be him to make the play, you're in trouble.
And that was the thing. You were in a rock fight game. Had the Packers played rock fight football with them, in which they tried, but again, if your whole philosophy is we're going to run the ball, we're going to play hard defense, which the Packers were doing, the one thing you can't have your quarterback do is turn the ball over. And he did it over and over and over. And I'm telling you, they were watching it. They were probably watching it in the locker room in Tampa, both those teams. They were watching it in Arizona, where the Rams and the Vikings are getting ready to play, and they were watching it in Detroit. And every one of those NFC teams was cheering for the Packers.
Absolutely.
The Lions and the Vikings said, F rivalries, go Pack, go. And it was there for the taking, and the Packers couldn't take it, to me, because of Jordan Love's ineptitude. Because the Eagles, I don't know that the Eagles are going to play a worse game than they played in the playoffs. Like, that was the most beatable the Eagles have looked in a long time, and you just couldn't do anything with it. Like, they let you hang around, and you said, we don't want to win. I thought it was a pathetic. I thought that, the Chargers are in that mix for most disappointing performance of the week.
No question.
I mean, that was atrocious, I thought, for the Packers.
There was something about the Eagles. It appeared they never were worried. I don't know how to put it. When A.J. Brown sitting on the sidelines reading a book, what was that? It was a very strange look all the way around. But it did feel like in the second half, watching USC in about 1978.
Well, it was also the cart was in and out hauling bodies to the back for both teams. As soon as the cart got back from hauling someone to the hospital, they brought out the cart had to come back and drag off another body. It was certainly a very physical game.
Saquon, just magnificent. Yep. And on the other side, running back wasn't bad either. Jacobs
was very good.
Ran violently, but I'll tell you.
Jordan Love took away their chance to win that game.
And Saquon protected their quarterback.
Yeah.
They didn't. Jalen wasn't asked to do anything stupid.
Well, but remember, that's what that fumble on the opening kickoff puts you in a position to just ride Saquon for the rest of that game. Because once you're playing with a lead, you don't have to ask your quarterback to do anything, really. Just hand it off. But because the Packers had to chase a little, Jordan Love he's not that dude yet. And people want to crown him. He is not that dude.
What's your confidence level with Philly now against Detroit? Is it less? Equal?
Yes.
Is it less?
It's less.
I feel like there's more to Philly's offense, that they can do a lot more, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to get there.
Detroit yesterday would have smoked Philly.
I think so.
That was not a good – if I'm an Eagle fan, I feel like I got away with something because they did not play well. And
they didn't have to be
great. You're right.
But they were good enough. But my takeaway was that the error in judgment by anybody in the NFL who didn't think, or at least thought that the running game was dead. That I don't need them. I can find a way if I pay my wide receivers and do all this. I won't need a back.
Dude, look around the league this week. Look what Derrick Henry did. Look what James Cook did. Look what Saquon Barkley did. Look what Joe Mixon did. The running game carried these teams, and also the teams that lost because their quarterbacks turned the ball over.
Yep, they were lost on an island and had to throw things that they shouldn't have had to do. Yep. And the losers sit at home, watch this. I hope everybody's taking note.
So, one game to go, friends. One game left, and I guess we'll dig deep into that game on the other side. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a trouble spot on 35 northbound Division, south side of town. That stall is in the left lane. Delay start at South Cross. 410 westbound Fredericksburg Road, disabled vehicle now off to the shoulder. And we're starting to fill in and slow down now along 35 southbound from FM 1103 on down to Loop 410. Almost a 20-minute commute. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
South Texas College football head. Time of the year for fans. Bowl season is no exception. The biggest and best matchups this bowl season are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear them all on South Texas' first and only FM sports station, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
Every day, a child in poverty waits for a sponsor is another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
Is health or fitness a goal this year? Great news. The King of Paddle has arrived in San Antonio with 8 pickleball and 6 paddle courts. Their indoor facility suits all skill levels from beginners to seasoned players. Mark your calendar for their January 18th and 19th winter tournament. Find details at thekingofpaddle.com or at the King of Paddle SA on social media. Visit their new downtown location at 314 Nolan Street or check out the new King of Paddle facility with us this Thursday as we broadcast the Blitz live from 2 to 6.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know our pets are beloved family members, but sadly though there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
At Round Table Pizza, our signature ingredients like made-from-scratch dough, our 3-cheese blend, and toppings all the way to the edge create your perfect pizza. Try our new pepperoni, grilled chicken, and bacon pizza, available for a limited time. You can enjoy a large for only $19.99 at participating locations. Plus, pair your pizza with our irresistible shareables. To find your nearest location or to order for pickup or delivery, head to roundtablepizza.com. That's roundtablepizza.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. It's just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Well, family, this new year is off to a great start. Everybody, how are those New Year's resolutions?
Dear, my resolution is to cut my damaged hair and just start over.
Dad, my resolution is to take better care of my skin. It's so dry. Ew.
Pops, my New Year's resolution is to work out at the gym. Go up and drink a gallon of bottled water every day.
My resolution is to take up skydiving.
Mom, you're 96.
Don't you make me get it.
Family, my resolution is to replace all our appliances that have been destroyed over the years by hard water.
Sounds like your family needs to start the new year off with installing a Connecticut water system and get a head start on all those resolutions.
This guy's making sense.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. Offer ends soon. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country.
The last water softener you'll ever own. ConnecticutSA.com.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
I'm Nicole Chrysler, healthcare provider at Revive Men's Health. If you are always feeling tired or moody, have a difficult time sleeping, or decreased libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health San Antonio at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Guys, if you're not feeling like yourself, testosterone therapy may be the answer. Look for the VIP treatment you'll get with the experts at Synergenics Testosterone Weight Loss. Synergenics has over a decade of TRT experience. Book your appointment at synergenicshealth.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Watching my back. Morning Huddle 94.1. Somebody's trying to kill me. I don't know who it is, Vink.
I don't know either.
What went on in there?
Yeah, I'm in that spot where
You don't know, right?
I know that I need a bathroom break.
Right. But you don't know when.
But I know it's now, but I don't want it to be now. So I'm trying to wait till I get home.
Good luck.
But
I stopped that 10 years ago.
But then I had to pee, and when you know you've got to go.
Oh, it'll.
But you also have to pee. It's like it's very difficult to pee and not let everything go.
Yeah, well.
But I'm an expert, so I did it. I did it.
Hey, hats off. I would have been in
Thanks,
there.
man.
Yeah.
I forgot a hat today. I feel naked without a hat. Speaking of hats
Your
off,
head
yeah.
cold?
Yeah.
It actually is a little cold. I'm used to wearing a hat, but I forgot to grab one on my way out of work today. So got the dome on full display today. It's big, yeah.
Oh, they're not much reflection. It's not. I'm not getting a tan off of it or anything. There's no reflection.
Even with these bright lights.
The glare isn't. But you might want to put some lotion on there. You might burn.
That's true.
It's a little light. How are you doing? How's
You look
Vic's?
ashy.
How's your head, Vic?
I'm good.
Your head good?
What is that right here? Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah, hanging in there.
A little glare. You're looking good.
Yeah.
We got to get a camera in there on Vic.
Yeah, I'm waiting for
Watch him eat crackers and strawberries and all that
fruit
stuff.
and the
yeah,
like.
all the fruit. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so hungry. I got to eat some blueberries.
I'm still hungry right now.
He was in there eyeing the like a honey bun. I'm like, dude.
Yeah. No.
I don't have time to take you to the hospital today.
No.
That's not worth
I
it.
got other
I
stuff
walked
on the docket today.
But it
walked
does
away.
suck because Rob comes in here and eats like donuts and Pop-Tarts, and Vic's like,
Can't have
I know.
that.
I can't have anything. Well, my
Can't-
wife does the same thing. She buys a bunch of cookies and everything. I can't eat none.
well, you when I got here, you had some sort of what looked like some sort of a sausage wrap.
Yeah.
What was that?
I
Like
think
a-
that's a
Oh, yeah.
QT sausage wrap.
Okay.
But
And
it was
then-
just here. I think.
Oh, that
our
wasn't
good friend
yours?
Jimmy the News Rat.
Yeah, Jimmy brought it.
Oh,
dropped
okay.
it by.
Did he brought it for you?
I assume it was sitting here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you ate it.
I did. Then
And-
I ate the donut.
Oh,
ate-
actually, he swallowed it.
Was it one donut or two
It
donuts
was
you
one
ate?
and a half.
One and a
Because I ate
half.
half the donut on the way in.
Did you have any chili?
So you've eaten two full donuts.
I've
then.
eaten 2 donuts and a breakfast kolache.
Okay.
And
No
I'm looking-
Pop-Tarts today.
No, I have a brand new box that I forgot to bring.
Okay.
But because I brought the donuts.
Gotcha.
Because the donuts have a shelf life. Those Pop-Tarts
yeah.
are good for another year.
Well,
I gotta go
10 years.
I got to go through them. Although, I heard just now walking through our break room, I'm always the one that gets in trouble for the Pop-Tart dust.
The crumbs?
The crumbs in the break room. Because
Oh, yeah, you're the one.
I'm not the only Pop-Tart eater.
Who else was eating?
Iris, our wonderful front office.
Oh, it was Iris, too?
The face of our company when you come to pick up anything. She's working the front desk. Iris was making a Pop-Tart.
When I have beer delivered here, now I've got those lockers so I can get beer delivered to my house. But I didn't want to get I've got sometimes cases of beer getting delivered to my house.
Jeez.
And I didn't want it to. I don't want it to be just left on my doorstep.
Oh, not here. Yeah.
So I would get it delivered here. And
okay.
Iris will always email me. You have a giant heavy box here. If you want to come get it,
Please come get it.
There's 3 kegs in the front. Are they
So how
yours?
much beer a week do you get?
I mean, a week. I don't think it's by a week.
I mean, how much beer do you get in the mail? Like on a monthly basis?
Maybe like a box a month.
And what's a box?
Anywhere between
120
6 and 24 beers.
But of the 6 beers, they're in those big growler bottles.
It depends. It
really?
depends on the beer. Yeah. Sometimes it's just a bunch of cans.
So how much beer do you send off?
Not very much.
Not much.
So you used to trade beer.
Yeah, I thought that's what you're doing now.
No. Now I'm buying it from people.
Oh, so you got a plug or at least a warehouser type that goes and gets a specific. But well, it is. I mean, it truly is in the sense you got a plug.
So
that says this beer's got a small amount from this little brewery. I'll get you a case.
So what I've done now is I used to have, there was a brewery here in San Antonio called Weathered Souls that made world-class stouts. And I've always loved their beer. I'm friends with the guy that was the head brewer.
Yeah.
And everything's former about it now.
So. Well, I didn't know. See, I got in on all the cheese made.
Yeah, they closed down after he left. That'll tell you how important he was. But they when they closed down, it's I had a membership to that brewery, so I got a bunch of beer that not everybody else got. And I was like one of the OG members of it, so I had my first pick of the litter.
Well, how did you find out? My curiosity is, how do you find out about a Weathered Souls brewery in San Antonio that only makes, say, 100 cases of anything when you're living in Vegas?
Well, remember, I knew about them when I was living in Houston.
Okay, in Houston, how do you find out?
Because I have friends who are brewers, and they say, you got to check out Marcus's beer.
Because I saw you have an app too, right? Like I just tried this beer at this place. I give it this.
My Beer Nerd app, yeah.
So, and everybody's looking to go, oh, I need to try the Weathered Souls in San Antonio. So if they wanted to try it, how would they get it? Would they look at somebody on the app? Is there somebody here in San Antonio?
No, you'd have to know someone in San Antonio.
That, like, to be my stand-in, my proxy to go buy it and send it to me?
So now that brewery's gone, I don't have that membership anymore. I don't have good stouts anymore. So I got a new membership in Nebraska. Lincoln, Nebraska. So there, I didn't even know about this brewery until this summer in Vegas. There was a beer festival, and I went, and they were sampling beers, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" So I put my name on their membership waiting list, and they do like a little lottery system, and if you get picked, you can buy into their membership.
What's the legality of sending beer through the mail
talk
without
about
taxes? I mean, is there an illegal issue?
I mean, probably.
Probably, right?
Yeah. I really think
find out.
The bigger issue is with the shippers, like FedEx, UPS. They don't want to ship alcohol. Like, so you have to lie. What I always tell them, like, when I did send off beer, they'd be like, "Well, what's?" Because they always ask what's in the.
Going to make the clanking
They
sound
say,
and all
they say,
that?
"What's in the box?"
Body parts.
And I always say, I always say, your wife's head is in there.
Well, I'm sending my urine off.
No,
for analysis.
I would always say, like, when people ask me questions, I try to give answers that people are going to be like, oh, and just disinterested after.
Oh, the colonoscopy sample.
So when people ask me on an airplane, like if somebody's trying to talk to me on an airplane, they're like, what do you do for a living? If I say, oh, I host a sports radio show, they're going to want to talk to me.
Okay.
So I always say, oh, like, in coloring books, there's like the lines at the bottom, like you write a couple sentences on a coloring book, like a kid's coloring book. I write those sentences, and they're like, "Oh, boring, okay." And
well, you tell me that, I know you're lying. All right, bud. All right, hero. You could have just said I'm busy. All right. You know what? You know what? You know what I do for a living? I'm the president.
Yeah.
I'm flying incognito.
What I say when they ask me what I'm shipping, I always say, it's diabetic lemonade.
There you go.
I said it's a lemonade made specifically for diabetics, and they always just look at me and
buy
go,
it.
All right. Yeah. They don't want to talk about
No,
that.
they go, oh, drugs.
They don't,
it's weed.
They don't want to talk about it anymore.
Unless they're diabetic. Got to be careful unless they're diabetic.
I did have one person be like, oh, where do you get it? And
I would love to try it.
And I was like, I make it, and that's why I'm shipping it off. I've got a small business. And they were like, how do I find it? And I was like,
online. Google me.
I said, you know what? I'll bring you a sample. And then I never came back to that place.
Nice.
That's the way to do
it.
Website's
under construction.
Diabetic lemonade.
Yeah.
Oh, it's weed.
It's diabetic
it's
zero.
Weed then. Diabetic lemonade, you say?
Well, it's too heavy to be weed.
Okay.
I mean, those boxes weigh 20-something pounds. You know what I mean? So you got to give them something. All right. The game tonight, Rob. Anyway, to finish my story, now I've got to find a guy in Nebraska, and I think I've got one who is willing to
be your plug.
Go pick up my beer and ship it to me, which, that's part of the pain in the ass of getting good beers.
Like a Craigslist.
You got to go out of your way
looking for someone willing.
But
go
here's
pick up
the
a
thing,
package.
And you've been impressed by this when we were in Oxnard. You always know someone who knows someone in the beer world.
That is a remarkable thing. The spider web of, I know that guy in that town. Oh, yeah, I knew him because he was over here. I'm continually amazed by it. There is a subculture of beer snobs.
So one of my buddies is like, oh, I know a guy for you. I'll talk to him and see if he'll do it for you. And he was like, yeah, he's got no problem doing it.
You guys are looking out for each other. That's typical of these kind of things. But I hope they're not breaking any rules. I hope the revenuers aren't going to come chasing you down.
I mean, listen, I come back with a damn suitcase of weed every time I fly to Vegas.
No, you don't. That's illegal. You wouldn't do such things.
I would never do that,
That's
but
illegal.
I always think about it.
But you wouldn't because that would be breaking
I know,
the law.
but I always think about it.
I mean, but that's not a crime.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I do, not crime.
Because I think about killing a lot of people.
Oh, God.
Never actually done it.
Every day.
Yet. Because of these suitcases you bring back. that's a whole other thing.
All right. The game tonight, the Rams and the Vikings. This game was a pick'em, which...
And it shouldn't be, but it is.
It was a pick'em. The Rams were the home team, which says that they believe the Vikings are significantly better. So they're, usually about a point and a half, probably for the Rams, I'd say probably a point and a half for home field. So they're saying the Rams were worse than the Vikings. Well, now the game's moved away from L.A., and the Vikings are 2.5-point favorites. I don't know that the venue change matters at all.
I agree with you there. I didn't get that shift. Although I get the line. The line makes sense to me. I just don't get the shift. It should have been the line in L.A.
Yeah. So to me, there's starting to be I think there's some value on the Rams. This is a Rams team that's been there and done it. There's no substitute for experience. Sam Darnold's never played in a big game in his life.
And the last one we saw did not.
Yeah, the most important game of Sam Darnold's career, he literally laid the biggest egg he could have laid. Meanwhile, on the other side, Matt Stafford's won a Super Bowl.
Do you look at the Rams, and you brought it up, Stafford won a Super Bowl, but do you feel like they're not the most talented team in the game?
Yes,
but
of course.
But go through who they do have, though. They're not under-talented. No. I go, if you went wide receiver for wide receiver.
Oh, they're better than everybody. But they're inept on defense. I shouldn't say inept. They're devoid of big-name talent on defense. They're solid, but they're not. They don't have superstars. But Puka Nacua is one of the best receivers in the NFL now. Like, there's no longer like Cooper Kupp. Last year, it was like, oh, Cooper Kupp's the number one, but Puka's a strong two. There's no question who the number one receiver for the Rams is now. It's Puka Nacua, and he is like probably a top 5 receiver in the league.
I think so too. And in comparison to the Viking wide receivers, it's not the same kind.
Well, yeah, they've got a pretty good one too.
Talented.
Yeah.
I think I looked at this game and I felt like, well, this is a Jimmys and Joes versus an X's and O's. I've got a team with a lot of talent versus Sean McVay. And can the X's and O's outdo the Jimmys and Joes?
Although O'Connell's very good too.
But he's a newbie. This is his first go around, and I've got a coach that has been there and done that with probably a little bit more talent on defense than they have now. And I say that facetiously. They're way under talent. There's no Aaron Gordon there. There's no cornerback. They're missing a lot of the stuff that they had with the Super Bowl. But they're not as under talented as I kind of picture them in my mind, as like this is Sean McVay and Stafford winning on guile and savvy. Just they know how to win and you guys don't. There's more talent there. That they can run the ball better than I think a lot of people think. Kyron can move the ball on the ground, and he protects Stafford with that play action. They have the chance to score with Minnesota. I just don't think they can stop them.
Yeah, that's what it's going to come down to. But if Sam Darnold stops himself.
Jimmys and Joes, X's and O's, and this is the only game.
Yeah, and remember though, Kevin O'Connell's been to the playoffs before.
He has, and I'm not. But the Jimmys and Joes, the Darnold thing is a big question. He's got as much talent as anybody, but from the neck up, can he do it? This is the only playoff game where I legitimately look at the coach and say, the coach can win this on his own. If McVay can put together a game plan to hide the negative, promote the positive, and go beat a better football team in a one-off. That's the one coach, the one game I look at and go, he's the difference. He could actually do it. It's not just about the talent on the field, that there's a coach out there that can scheme his way to a victory, or at least put his savvy pros in a position to go make a play. And that's enough to keep it close.
What I will say about Kevin O'Connell is this. Kevin O'Connell, in 3 years, has a record of 34-17. His starting quarterbacks have been Kirk Cousins, Josh Dobbs, Nick Mullins, Jaron Hall, and Sam Darnold. And he has gone 34-17 as an NFL head coach. This guy can mother effing coach.
Unfortunately,
this is going to be a great X's and O's matchup. I think
taking a team that achieved the goal. You tell your team, if you go win 14 games, you're going to play at home in the playoffs.
You would think.
Give everything you've got.
You would think, man.
And they did, and they're on the road in Glendale. I mean, that's a difficult thing to swallow and then overcome. It just is. They sacrifice so much. And it's going to be a testament to O'Connell that if he can get that team off the mat after getting kicked in the nuts last week, can they get off the mat and go beat a team that will be prepared? They're not going to let you get by with a mistake. That's the kind of team that the Rams are. They're not great, but they don't let you – if you screw up, they're going to capitalize on it. That's what savvy teams do. It'll be a testament to them. It will be if O'Connell can turn that team the way that he did.
Yeah, I think so. So certainly a fun game tonight. I am leaning to the Rams.
I don't want to. I
think the experience is just a factor, man. Like the Stafford and Darnold, as much as I've been like kind of like a Darnold, I'm buying into what he's done. I've been so impressed with him all year. He's still so much of a lesser quarterback than Matt Stafford.
But it'll be a great, fun night if the Rams do it, because it will be an upset, and it will require something spectacular from an old dude. But it'll be like an upset in the Sweet 16 of March Madness. You're excited tonight, and then you realize the prospect of, oh, man, the Rams, they're going to lose next week. I don't care what happens.
Right.
So we lose the juggernaut that we could get with Minnesota still playing. We sacrifice it for the upset.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure we'll be happy with it if that's the way it goes. But I do agree with you that I like McVay tonight. I just feel like this is the Minnesota just gave it all in the 11th round, and they're going to have to stand up and go to the 12th round to keep going, and I'm not sure they got enough in their legs.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be – I think this could be one of the better games of the playoffs so far. Like, I don't know who's going to win. So that's exciting to me. This game reminds me a little of the Tampa-Washington game last night, where it wouldn't shock me whoever wins, but except I think these are better teams than those. Like Washington and Tampa just felt like they're probably the two worst teams in the NFC that made the playoffs.
Yeah,
but,
I would agree with that.
But this game feels like there's some like this could go either way. Which, let's face it, most of these playoff games you haven't felt like going into them that this is a coin flip game. Who knows who's going to win?
They've all had reasons to pick the favorite. I'll agree with that.
This is the one game where I'm like, man, I don't really know. Like if Stafford plays great, they're going to win. If Darnold plays anything like he played last week, they've got no chance. If he plays like he's played all year, they're as live as anybody. So it's a fascinating matchup. Stoked for the game tonight. All right, 1 hour left. 1 hour left.
That's
Look
it.
at us.
Flying.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm exhausted, and I've got to poop. I mean, it's
hurry up.
This is a hellacious program. It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new $7 Lux Cravings Box from Taco Bell with 3 indulgent full-size classics, chips, nacho cheese sauce, and a drink for just $7 at participating stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks exclude freezes. Tax extra.
Madam Giselle senses something in your future.
Is my boyfriend going to propose?
It's a big storm.
Wait, we're going to get in a fight?
No, a literal storm. Wind, heavy wind. I see a tree falling on your RV.
Oh, that's fine. I'm covered by Progressive. So, is my boyfriend there? Maybe on one knee?
The entire roof is crushed.
So, no ring.
Be prepared for the unexpected with Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Product features subject to policy terms and may not be available in all states or for all vehicles and covered selections.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now, sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first. on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades at no upfront cost. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first, sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
GiveMeTheVin.com salutes the Man in Black. American singer Johnny Cash recorded a live performance for more than 2,000 inmates at California's Folsom Prison on this day in 1968. Johnny Cash was known as a straight shooter. Give Me the Vin walks the line, too, with a fast offer and an easy, no-hassle process. Find out what makes GiveMeTheVin.com America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Divorce is a fight. If you don't want to get knocked out of the ring by your spouse, then you need an aggressive law firm with a stable of hard-hitting attorneys at your disposal. Contact Barton & Associates today. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with autopay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without autopay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch any big game with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the fights. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a trouble spot on 35 northbound Division, south side of town. That stall is in the left lane. Delay start at South Cross. 410 westbound Fredericksburg Road, disabled vehicle now off to the shoulder. And we're starting to fill in and slow down now along 35 southbound from FM 1103 on down to Loop 410. Almost a 20-minute commute. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The Washington Commanders capped off a busy weekend of football with a 23-20 doink win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The national championship is set as Notre Dame will face Ohio State after they beat Texas 28-14. The Irish and Buckeyes will battle it out in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta a week from today. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Synergenicshealth.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Oh, it's already 9 o'clock. Well, bless you, Rob.
Excuse me. Pardon me.
My goodness.
We have a cough button, not a sneeze one.
Yeah. Couldn't.
That one. I come from a long line of loud sneezers.
I am a terribly loud sneezer, and my wife gets so annoyed. I'm like, I don't do it on purpose.
I wish I could modulate. I can't.
My dad was like he would sneeze really hard, and he always had to say a cuss word at the end of his sneeze.
I like that. I wish I could still do that.
Yeah.
And it was either the S word or the F word at the end of the power sneeze.
Nice.
And I really think it was uncontrollable. Like, because I don't remember a situation where he didn't do it, and there were some times when it was totally inappropriate for him to do it, and he just did it anyway. And
what's it, Tourette's?
Yeah.
He's got sneeze Tourette's.
Scratcher.
F you.
So I have the power sneezing gene, but not the. But sometimes it does make me feel good to cuss at the end of it, like.
Oh, if it's a real good one, if it's like three good ones.
Yeah. Oh, it's like a.
You can't hold those back either. You'll blow an O-ring.
Yeah, man.
You'll blast out the other end.
Yeah, that happened the other day when I pulled a nose hair that was just sticking out, and
I've got nose hairs that are literally attached to my spinal cord. There's one in there that I'm pretty sure that if I pull and it actually comes dislodged, I'm going to lose all the feeling in my legs.
You're going to bleed to death.
I have some nose hair that I will give you state secrets if you pull out.
It's going to, like, your spine's going to come out of your nose like a Mortal Kombat.
Have you ever been like in
a
the
Mortal
car?
Kombat finish? Finish him.
I've been
Pull
in the
his spine
car.
out and hold it up by a nose hair.
You grow a mustache, and the nose hair and the mustache all grows into one amorphous thing.
Yeah,
so I'll be standing and I'll find like a long one, like, oh, this one's inside, and you pull that one out, it comes out like a guitar string, like a C sharp. Bing!
Oh yeah, and your eyes start to water.
You can't
and
drive. It's like, well, I'm blind. I'm going to have to sit here through the red light. You can honk all you want. I can barely hear you.
I won't
I'm in
do that
agony.
at a red light. There's
Dude,
no way.
It's like being tased.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't pull the nose hairs. Don't do that.
It's just it's trouble waiting to happen. I trim them down.
I go in there with the Roto-Rooter.
Yeah. Now if I catch one like hanging out, I'll try and grab it and pull it. But
no, I do it
not while I'm driving.
But I know it's going to cause immense pain. But I can't not do it.
No, it's just my eyes water. And
I don't know why I'm growing wire out of my nose. I don't know what it's trying to protect me from, but it's growing barbed wire.
Baker, God bless him.
Poor Baker.
He took the blame.
No, poor Baker, nothing.
He took it on the chin.
He did what Baker should have done.
No, he does
Baker
does.
Yeah.
He said that it's going to wear on him for a while. He said that comes back to me just timing it up correctly. First one all year that it's happened on. So obviously the timing of it not great, being backed up. Defense had done a hell of a job getting us the ball, another fourth down stop, and unfortunate, but that falls on me.
Mm-hmm.
Play happened 1st and 10 from the Tampa 15 with 12 minutes to go in regulation. Washington had gotten all the way down to the 1-yard line, but for some reason refused to kick field goals last night. And then we saw at the end when they kicked the game-winning field goal, why?
Yeah. What did they say? It was the 6th kicker they've used this year?
I wanted him to miss it too, not because I wanted the Commanders to lose, but because the kicker took his helmet off and then was like fixing his hair.
And his lettuce.
And then he started to put it back on, and then he was like, no, that's not good enough. And then a little bit more, and then put it on. I was like, dude.
What are you doing?
You're about to kick. You're trying to win a playoff game here. You're worried about how your hair looks under your helmet?
I was going to say, I'm going to Disney World.
I hate that kicker already, Zane Gonzalez. I don't like his name as Zane.
No, I don't like his. My kicker's not going to be named Zane.
Hell no. That's too close to zany.
Yeah, I don't want that.
And then Fred says, have you been tased, Rob?
As a matter of fact, no.
I have.
I've never been tased.
Oh, I have.
I have too.
Yeah, it sucks.
The closest I've been is I took a blast of pepper spray, but I had to.
Oh, I've done that.
That was military. That's what we all had to do.
Yeah,
that's the closest I've come. Never been tased.
I was in the gas chamber and been tased. Yeah.
Wait, when you got tased, was it like with the gun that shoots out the barbs?
Yeah, with the stuff that
was
to your
this
back.
Why were you tased? Were you running?
No, I wanted to be in military police. I was.
You were just. They wanted you to know what it felt like. What about you? Same thing. You weren't. Was it given to you under duress?
No, I lost a bet.
Oh, so it's just here. Bite down on this and
I lost a bet.
Own it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to be tased.
At least you pay your debts. That's
I'm pretty sure.
Did you get the loser
I haven't got it yet, but I'm going to get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to get it.
If I get tased.
El desgraciado.
Is it going to be here on your finger?
No, I think it's going to be on either my ankle or my foot. El desgraciado.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to. I've decided. I think I'm going to go against the whole Loteria card and just.
What?
It's just a lot of
Just do loser. It's five letters.
It's just going to say El desgraciado. I'm going to get it. I'm just gonna get the font.
What
no
could have
picture.
been?
I know.
What could
I
have
can't.
been?
Your guy never texts me. I don't have anybody to do the
JC,
artwork.
if you're listening, you know who you are.
I don't have anybody to do
brother.
the artwork properly. Like, if I got it done like that, I'd want to get it done cool, and I haven't found someone who can do it.
Yeah.
Loser.
I know.
Just go put the L right
here. Just right here.
Well, this guy calling me a loser, the guy who couldn't get laid after he took his wife on a date to Lost Maples this weekend.
But see, I can get laid tonight, loser. I can go get some tonight.
Not if you watch the football game.
No, your wife's already mad today.
I'm going to watch the football game, then the Spurs, and then maybe we can have sex after. And she's like, yeah, about that.
There's some pickleball on, too.
I'm going to text her from the other room. You up?
Yeah. If Rob gets
booty call in my own house,
if Rob gets laid tonight, it's gonna be for $40 on that street 2 blocks over from the Alamo Dome.
You up?
We'll be out by that bar you took me to. That
yeah.
Take him down to Cherry Street.
Yeah, by the Ice House.
And Cherry, make some friends.
That's
bring
right.
your $1 bills.
That's right. So yeah, the Commanders. You then obviously get the fumble. They go and score and get the touchdown there, and that's the end of the game basically for Baker. Poor Baker.
No, it's not poor Baker.
It kind of is.
No, man.
I've never felt bad for Baker. I felt bad for him there.
Wow, of all the times. I mean, he got him there, but for him, they're not there. He's found a home. He's living in the suburbs. He's settled down. That's what he needed. He needed boring.
That's what he needed. He needed to stop living in the stadium.
True. He had to move out of the stadium, go live in the burbs in St. Pete and commute.
A lot of money. A lot of money. I want to say changed hands. Stayed in the sports book's pocket yesterday when Saquon Barkley slid down on the final drive when he
Rather
broke
symbolic
away.
Of his entire season, right?
He could have scored the touchdown, and he's like, nope, I'm going to slide down right here. According to ESPN Bet, Barkley anytime touchdown score was the 3rd most popular leg of all NFL parlays.
I would have.
Oh, man.
Because he did everything else.
That's wild.
The stat that I saw yesterday, that one that killed everybody with money on it, but the stat that I saw that just blew me away was he gained over 1,000 yards this year in just second halves.
Yeah.
What a remarkable stat.
Yep, just a hammer, dude. Once they've got you worn down, and when you're playing with a lead, you know, that's it. Again, if you're for anyone in the NFC, if you're any kind of an NFC playoff team besides the Eagles, you wanted the Packers yesterday, and they could have had them. And they gave them so many chances to be back in the game, and they just refused to take them. Well,
Saquon, the break glass in case of emergency. Just keep giving it to him, man. He won't screw it up.
Yep. This is this divisional round is going to be solid. The AFC especially, because normally I would say, the Chiefs are going to kill the Texans.
No.
I don't know.
All worthy contenders. There's a pretender or two still out there, but
I don't think the Texans can go to the Super Bowl.
No, but they can scare the crap out of Kansas City and beat them.
I think so too. And finally, in non-football related news, the announcement from Tyson Fury, at least again, who knows if it's for real this time. Tyson Fury says he is going to retire. Now, he did retire in 2022.
I was going to say, I think I've heard this before.
April 2022, he retired, and then came back in December of 2022. He just lost his rematch with Alexander Usyk, which
no one noticed.
I did. I didn't think he lost that fight, but now you've lost twice. That's tough. He said, "It's been a blast. I've loved every single minute of it, and I'm going to end with this. Dick Turpin wore a mask. God bless everybody. See you on the other side." I don't know why he said that Dick Turpin wears a mask. Dick Turpin is he's a famous highway robber and horse thief in 18th century England. So he's like a Jesse James type character. Why you would reference that when you're retiring is beyond me.
Okay, so the question I was going to ask, and normally when a fighter retires or somebody like this, exits, it's because they were under an obligation that they're trying to get out of. I won't do this because I'm being contractually forced to do it, but if I exit this, there's something else going on.
I think what it is here is everybody wants, particularly everybody in England wants Fury and Anthony Joshua to fight. And they're both like in the twilights of their careers.
Is this 2019?
And it would make a lot of money.
But he don't do it?
Well, I think he's willing to do it, but he wants somebody to be like, come on, man, we really need you. And him being retired means now they gotta you're gonna have to sweeten the pot a little, buddy.
I've never understood why a guy who's not obligated to do anything would retire. Why you've already retired until you decide to fight again. You don't have to tell me anything. But when I hear that and then the obtuse statement, he's talking to somebody about something. I think you're right. Chasing more money.
I think so too. But
it's kind of sad. I mean, name 3 other heavyweights other than the 2 we just brought up.
Deontay Wilder.
Okay, he's also washed up next.
Yeah,
I mean, it's sad, but Tyson Fury's still a thing.
But now, listen, I think first of all, I appreciate Tyson Fury because it had been a long time since we had a relevant heavyweight champion.
He's Larry Holmes. Yeah, you put him in the pantheon because he beat all comers, but really he's not beating the best of the comers in history. I mean, Larry Holmes deserves a lot of credit for being what he was for a long time because there was no one else. So, yeah,
Dude, he knocked Deontay Wilder silly at a time when Deontay Wilder was just punishing everyone.
But Deontay wore a hat that was too heavy.
That's what it was. Now, and at the end of the day, when you finish 34-2-1 and your last 2 were the 2 losses, that's going to sting.
Yes,
it stings your legacy.
But we're 15 years into this. It's time. Do we have any Klitschko brothers? Do we have somebody else out there we can recycle?
That's what they're going to have to find.
Where are we looking?
That's what they're. But I love. It's almost like with pro wrestling. I don't like when normal sized people are pro wrestlers.
Well, yes. The world is better.
I want a circus. I want to see giants.
Yes, the world is better when our heavyweights are great.
My favorite wrestler of all time is Andre the Giant. I think he's the greatest wrestler ever, and I think it's undisputable that he is the greatest wrestler of all time. So when I see someone who's a literal giant like Tyson Fury as the heavyweight champion, I'm like, this is fun to me.
Right. It's such a letdown when I see fighters that are
that's the
little
guy who's supposed to be beating up everybody because he is the giant. It's like.
But how long has it been since we looked at a heavyweight with true fear?
Fear? No.
Since Mike. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. It's been so long. That
as good as guys like Holyfield and Lennox Lewis were, and the Klitsch. I mean, both Klitschkos had a hell of a run. Tyson Fury had a hell of a run, but they haven't been, terrifying.
No, and to Fury's credit.
Deontay Wilder was pretty terrifying, honestly,
he was
for a while.
For about 3 years, but we found out very
he was
quickly.
A terrible boxer.
Yeah,
that
he
was
was manipulated into beating tomato cans.
He was just really good at punching you very hard in the face until he fought a giant who he wouldn't let him punch hard in the face.
With heavier hands than him.
Yeah.
And Fury, other than George Foreman, have the heaviest hands I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
There was the factor ×2 when it landed. Just hit you harder than anybody else.
So that seems to be it for Tyson Fury.
He'll be back. We'll have a pay-per-view. He'll be fighting one of the Paul brothers.
He got me interested in heavyweight boxing, and I had been out on heavyweight boxing for a while. So speaking of boxing, we're going out to Vegas.
Just a couple of weeks.
In a couple of weeks. We got a field trip we're going on. So you're not invited, Vic.
Nah, I don't want to go.
But, you're going to have to sit this one out.
Yeah, I got to stay here, run the show.
That's right. David Benavidez and David Morrell fighting up there in Las Vegas. So we'll get to go see the Mexican Monster.
And we will see them both live and in color. Can't wait.
That's right.
That's what we do.
Orale, Mexican Monster, El Monstruo.
We were there the last time the Mexican Monster fought. Not that one, the other one.
Yeah.
The other one,
Canelo, that other Mexican monster. The red-haired monster.
That's right. All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the world outside of sports. It is the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a trouble spot on 35 northbound Division, south side of town. That stall is in the left lane. Delay start at South Cross. 410 westbound Fredericksburg Road, disabled vehicle now off to the shoulder. And we're starting to fill in and slow down now along 35 southbound from FM 1103 on down to Loop 410. Almost a 20-minute commute. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we're dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit iffhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
Accomplishing goals is hard. But when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked, classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
This is Hall & Oates.
On their unplugged. This is their unplugged.
Little Hall of Notes for you here, 94.1.
You ready? Good stuff. Wake up!
Is this real?
Friends,
Yeah.
we've got some great non-sports stuff going on in the world that you guys all need to know about. Let's start in Lake County, Florida.
Good place to begin, let me tell you.
Where is Lake County? What part of Florida is that?
That's right in the Orlando area, I believe, which would be
sounds about
good
right.
place to be from, not in.
Yeah. Florida's one of those places, like, if you live at the very bottom, that's pretty awesome. The further you get up in that state, it's like, ooh, I don't know if I want to live here anymore. And then it's just...
let's see here. I'm trying to figure where Lake County
is.
The bottom of Florida is sort of like paradise. The
Sort of.
top of Florida is sort of like
Yeah, Lake
Alabama.
County's, it is. Right where I used to live right outside of Orlando in a little place called Oviedo. Lake County is very close to that. So, yeah.
Well, a Florida sheriff's deputy has resigned from his job after he crashed into a civilian's car. Now, that's going to happen. Listen, everybody's had an accident. Well, not everybody, but most people have had a car accident before. But unfortunately for him, his body-worn camera,
dang it, he had it on,
captured the steering wheel airbag deploying after his department-issue cruiser crashed into the back of another car. The video shows Deputy Tristan McComber tossing a cell phone onto the seat, then picking it up before he goes to check on the other driver. Hello, ma'am. Are you okay? I'm so sorry. According to the new internal affairs report, the deputy told a sergeant the brakes locked up before he rear-ended the other car that stopped for a school bus. The investigators eventually found that McComber wasn't truthful about what exactly he was looking at on his phone right before impact.
Pornhub.
He initially said that he was scrolling through text messages in a group chat with other deputies prior to the crash, but the investigation found he was viewing pornography.
Oh, well,
I knew it.
When you got the itch, you know what I mean?
Deputies found he violated 3 sheriff's office policies. He departed from the truth, used an electronic device for something that was prohibited, and wasn't wearing a seatbelt behind the wheel.
Which is really the most tragic thing of all.
That's right. And he got into an accident. He could have been killed.
And God knows where his other hand was.
But don't look at porn while driving, officers.
No.
Let's be careful with that.
Especially if you're driving a standard. You need both hands.
I don't think cop cars are standards.
Well,
that would be weird.
It's Lake County.
That's true. While we're talking about police, and I saw in the city of Houston, I hate this for Houston, that every time they show the drone shot
you were bitching so much about that.
Every time they show the drone shot
of the Astrodome,
they show the Astrodome, and it's like such an eyesore. And
oh yeah,
that was such a Houstonite thing to do.
It costs taxpayers. Like, I'm so glad I don't have to pay for the Astrodome to sit there and be infested with giant rats anymore because they don't want to stare at.
It's a landmark.
Oh my God.
We'll forget our past,
dude. Rob, they tore down Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, they did.
I don't think the Astrodome is like the sacred ground.
Did Yankee Stadium have the light up bull when they hit a home run?
No, it did not.
Well,
no, it did not.
Need I say more?
You mean when the opponents hit a home run?
Well,
because we.
I'm just saying, when there was a home run hit, you had the light show that was spectacular, worth saving.
Well, speaking of Houston and speaking of rats, the Houston Police Property Warehouse, where thousands of pounds of drugs, blood samples, and evidence has been collected at crime scenes, is now in desperate need of a cleanup as it has a full-blown rat infestation. The mayor, John Whitmire, and the newly elected district attorney, Sean Tier, announced on Friday they are joining forces to tackle the issue of decades-old evidence that has led to a rat infestation in the evidence room.
The rats ate our evidence? That's our excuse?
Apparently, the rats are now addicted to drugs. We've got 400,000 pounds of marijuana in storage that the rats are the only ones enjoying.
Why the hell do they have 400,000 pounds of weed in storage?
I mean, I guess
you have
it's
to keep
evidence
it all
until the.
You have to keep all of it.
But they burn it eventually.
Like,
well, why don't they burn it immediately? Why?
Well, I mean, maybe. How about this? Maybe once, get the trial done and then get rid of the weed,
or just take pictures of the weed and say this is what it is, and here's a sample.
Oh,
but
yeah.
We got rats
Get
eating.
rid of
Well,
it.
we had 3 pounds of weed. We're down to a quarter ounce.
Sell it out the back
I don't
door.
know. It was the rats.
I
don't know.
We have notes from a 1947 homicide that we still keep. Diaz says we have instances where we have kilos of cocaine from the 90s where people have already been sent to prison, have been released from the sentence, and we still store it.
What?
Man, that's the good stuff.
That's just dumb.
Yeah, that's just unfathomable.
That's before
Well,
fentanyl.
okay.
Yeah, it's before fentanyl scare.
Rodents, bugs, fungus, all kinds of things love drugs. It's a challenge storing large quantities of drugs.
I think we could have.
I like to imagine the rats getting so high on cocaine that they become like
You don't got a rat.
like Master Splinter.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Ninja Turtles or what? They're gonna,
Well, you weren't.
are they gonna
there.
have muscles?
Oh, that'd be so great.
You're telling me they've got coke in there from cases in the 90s?
Yes.
Like Pablo Escobar saw that.
Yes.
Pounds
Really?
of it.
Yeah.
And they go in looking for it, and then the people that work there go, "Oh no, we got a rat problem."
Yeah.
No, you don't.
No,
No, you ain't got a rat
drug
problem.
storage problem.
We got a. I don't know. Doesn't even make any sense.
A mother in Rhode Island was confused and upset after a bus monitor attempted to drop off the incorrect child at her home twice instead of her autistic son. According to an account by Sarah Batista, she received a terrifying phone call Monday to the bus company who takes her autistic 3-year-old to and from school every day, which, by the way, I mean,
it's a bold step, but
3-year-old autistic kid put him on a bus. I don't know if that's wise, but it's not none of my business. They stated they were at my door with my son and that nobody was answering. I ran downstairs and nobody was there. The caller described the home they were at, which Batista realized was not her house. She directed them to the correct location, but when the bus monitor got off the bus to deliver the child, she realized it was a complete stranger.
The wrong kid.
Out of shock, I said, "That's not mine." Batista said that even after notifying the monitor the issue, the worker gave the same child a different backpack and once again sent him out to Batista.
Kicked him out the door.
Like, oh, that's not mine. He thought she meant the backpack. No, that's not my kid. Wrong kid. Finally, her son came off the bus.
Oh, well, he was on the bus.
But Batista said he didn't seem like himself. He had no jacket on, no backpack. I had the asking employees to get it. I took him off the bus and just brought him inside. Which again, she's like, this is not the first issue her family's had with the bus company. I don't know. That's tough.
I would like to think that there would be another option.
That's what I'd like.
If you don't have another option,
Aaron,
put an air tag on your kid.
I got bad news. Bad news for Aaron Rodgers. Experts warned last week that a shortage of peyote, a sacred cactus used by the Native Americans in religious rituals, is now rampant in the U.S. It only grows across southwestern U.S., northern Mexico, and they are blaming white people for this. The indigenous people are saying that white people shouldn't mess with it because we are using up all the. I blame Aaron Rodgers for this. Aaron Rodgers has made it cool to do psychedelic drugs, and now white people are using it all up. This is a Native American sacred medicine, and we don't want people messing around with it, said a Navajo member of the Native American Church of North America, who practice peyoteism.
The Native American Church of North America?
That's right.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I join it?
Is it protected?
It's not protect. Now, he did say the Native people don't like it. White people shouldn't mess around with it. I will say, I'll give experience. This is my Aaron Rodgers story.
Okay.
I was taken to the reservation by my Navajo friends, and we all did peyote together with elders, like old people gave us peyote.
Oh, in a tent?
Yeah.
Were you in the spirit world?
I was in this. I literally lost a day of my life.
The size of that chicken?
I went home, and I thought it was, the next day, but I had been gone the whole day before. So, like, I got home on Sunday, and I thought I was getting home Saturday, and I was like, well, what happened to Saturday? I was in the spirit world.
In the spirit.
Wow.
Yeah. Now,
Good old peyote.
I don't believe 16-year-old kids should do peyote.
No.
In hindsight. In hindsight, that was the mistake that I made. But yeah, they're blaming the white people. So peyote supply is down thanks to Whitey.
It grows slow. It grows slow. It's
Yeah.
those cactus buttons. And doesn't it have to grow on like manure? Doesn't it have to grow on cow poop?
I think so.
I think there's something to it.
I'll be quite honest. It grows on reservations, so protect it. Like I mean, they've got the like. They just keep white people away. You got the option. Just grow your own stuff. Keep it away from us. What's a little?
Is peyote still a rampant drug on the?
I don't think it's rampant.
I mean,
but
is it?
I think they do.
There was
they
a
do
time
use
back
it for,
in the 80s or late 70s, early 80s, where peyote was pretty common, at least in this part of the world.
Yeah, they smoked it all.
So
we didn't. Well,
and for those who don't know,
never
it's
do anything
basically
like that.
it's
But it wasn't
mescaline
smoked.
is what it is.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of gone back to the sacred part of things instead
That's
of
what
the illicit things.
Yeah. Well, and when I didn't smoke it, they
You
made
ate
me
it.
some kind of a tea.
Yeah, I never ever.
I never
but
tried it.
what I've heard.
I did it when I was a minor, and it's not even prosecutable now.
What, the statute?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I was 16 years old. I was with old people. They would be in jail, not me.
yeah. Well,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
you would have been.
How
if
much
you'd
did you drink?
I don't know, too much.
You don't remember.
Like probably 3 times more than I should have.
So they're saying the white people are just invading the tribal lands and stealing the peyote?
Well, no. I mean,
or
They're just using it all up.
the dealers are just selling it all? to
that's
white
my
people?
guess, is that white people want to buy it, and then these old school natives are like, "Hey, man, quit selling to white."
How are we going to go to church?
That's right. Yeah. I know I got 2 more stories. I got to get to all of these.
They're all good.
They're all
I'm
good.
sorry.
Keep going.
Another Florida man story. Donald Calloway, a 53-year-old man, has been arrested after cops allege he made sexual contact with a horse. Now, you might be thinking, that's gross. Poor horse. What? And that is sad. But this isn't the traditional sexual contact with a horse. Like, I know what you're thinking. Like, when we were growing up, there was only one way to have sexual contact with a horse. Well, now, apparently, you can stick your penis inside the horse's nostril, and that's considered a sex act. And that's what this guy did. He made love to this horse's nose.
What the?
All I can think of is this. We're going to have to put the horse down.
I'll be honest.
I'll just put the horse down. We cannot go on with this kind of memory.
It's a 28-year-old horse named Raven. A witness saw him.
I gotta go.
I'm
out.
Tapping his hammer on the horse's nose and then inserting it into the nostril.
Why?
Police then confronted Calloway, and they say that he called his decision dumb. I made a mistake. He said, and I don't know that this is a viable excuse in a court of law. Quote, I haven't had any sex in probably 2 months. I think this was just a sexually frustrated moment.
Why did
2 months is a long time.
So many questions.
2 months is a long time. I get it.
What was going on with the horse?
I mean, it's what was there.
But I mean,
it's what was there.
And I mean, you can't fit your penis into a human nostril, so
unless
I think.
And you also got to remember, Horses bite.
Well, there's that. I don't understand.
And you're very close to the part of the horse that bites.
And it looks like a carrot.
And that's what I'm saying.
I don't think it's a very big carrot. I'm just going to say that.
Well, it's a mini carrot.
You're going to have to put the horse down. We're going to have to put you down. We're going to. It's just
everybody's got to go.
All got to
make it all go away.
We got to eliminate this gene pool. We're going to have to. This stuff, all of this, needs to be gone. I don't know how we're going to do it.
And never to return.
Sorry, bro. You cashed in your chips. You don't get to come back.
Well, now we've got a good story to wrap it up here.
Poor Raven.
Paige Amelia, who is 29 years old, suffers from Gigantomastia, a rare condition which causes rapid breast tissue growth. She has natural P-cup breasts.
P, like the letter P.
P as in pumpkins. Natural P-cup breasts that will not stop growing due to her rare condition. She says she has to shell out thousands each year on custom-made bras and new clothes every time her cup size goes up again. She could have surgery, but they would grow back.
Wow.
She would have to have a full-blown mastectomy to stop them from growing.
Yeah.
Now, here's why I don't feel bad for her. She makes $366,000 a year on OnlyFans.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, she can't leave the house.
That's a pretty good living. But I could see how it would, I get it. Oh, I got to buy new clothes. Well, good news, honey.
You have enough money for that.
Some schlub in his basement is buying you those new clothes. You're not having to buy them yourself. But this is the other part.
Her name?
There is a such thing.
Her name is Paige Amelia. She says,
I just found the headline.
She says she has
$170 a bra.
Yeah.
Some,
I mean, they are heavy, no doubt. She says she has to fend off as many as 40 messages a day inviting her on dates, which, I mean, listen, if we all had it so bad, right? Imagine being an
I got to tell you, that's a whole lot going on there. There's a whole lot going on there.
Yeah, there is.
Gigantomastia can be caused by a range of factors, including hormonal changes, medications, and autoimmune diseases, but Paige's cause is currently unknown. In 2022, her bust was 39 inches, and now, today, it is 56.2 inches. So it's grown 17 inches in the last 3 years. Yeah.
Unreal.
Where's she from?
Australia.
So $170 to buy a bra.
Yeah. Yeah. She says OnlyFans is good, but I don't like wearing tight clothing in public because I get unpleasant looks, particularly from other women.
There's a whole lot going on, I'll give you that.
I feel a constant pressure to appease everyone, and I can't wear what I want because I'm paranoid about people looking.
Wonder what she wants to wear.
I don't know. But she says, I'm worried if I pay the money for the surgery, they will just grow back to the same size again, and I would have wasted the money. It's not guaranteed that the surgery would stop the growth.
Well, so what happens?
And also, she'd be unemployed.
So in 5 years, what are we? So she's at 40 inches now, and she's just going to be a giant boob.
She's
like just one giant.
Yes, she's going to be a teacup.
Just two boobs with feet.
A teacup.
Letter T.
Well,
wow.
I mean, if it never stops growing,
you want to see a woman turn into a teacup?
There it is.
There it is.
I want to. I mean, literally, if it never stops growing,
I don't know. She's going to be like one of the, that there's like the picture of the guy, or there's like a picture of a guy who has like a gigantism of the scrotum,
elephantitis,
and he's like sitting on his own sack.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be her.
His own beanbag
like
chair.
She's just going to be like leaning forward and just resting. And that's how she's going to.
She has to be in a wheelchair because that thing.
Well, you'd need to have a wheelbarrow to kind of like carry him with you.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. But, I mean.
Because if they're never going to stop.
Hey, listen.
I got so many questions.
I mean, I think her, like, saying she wants to get rid of him is basically like slapping God in the face. Like, God blessed you with this disease. It makes your boobs grow every day.
Is her nipple like the size of a giant marshmallow, like the big ones?
Oh, I bet it is.
Oh, yeah.
I bet it is.
Jeez, that's huge.
That's a lot going on there.
It's like
like I keep saying, there's a lot going on there.
It's like a dinner plate with a marshmallow.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
what exactly am I looking at?
That's bad.
But then she's like, "Oh, I got to get rid of these things that are making me $400K a year on OnlyFans."
Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of pictures.
People are asking me on dates every day. There's some gal who's like 23 years old, has never grown boobies, has like doesn't even need to wear a bra, and is just like, I hate you so much, lady.
I think they would trade places. I think one would go, they would both flip.
I don't think she'd be an A cup.
Gladly give it up.
Dude, listen. Imagine.
What do you figure those things weigh?
Oh.
30 pounds each? 40 pounds each?
I'd say 40.
40, yeah.
I'd say I'll go 30.
So
that's soft tissue. I mean, it's 30 pounds each. It's a good amount, though.
Ooh.
It's a good amount.
It's a lot going on, man.
Yes,
It's just a whole lot going on.
If it makes you $400K a year,
it'd be like jumping into one of those bouncy ball pits. You just disappear. You just,
I mean,
a hand would come out like,
I'm in here.
Imagine how many.
Somebody throw me a rope.
Imagine how many crumbs she's got to clean out of
it. All kinds of stuff going on down there.
All right, we'll be back. We'll do the daily lines. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
Lollipop.
South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. The one and only Rich Eisen is on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
GimmeTheVin.com. Our expert buying team knows exotics, luxury cars, classics, diesels, lifted stuff, hot rods, inside and out. We buy them at GiveMeTheVin.com. It's a one-stop shop to get into a pool of absolute experts. Join my YouTube channel, John Clay Wolf. GimmeTheVin.com. They don't call me America's best car buyer for nothing.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? Because I guarantee you, she does. I'm Gary Barton with Barton & Associates. If you're considering divorce, then contact Barton & Associates today at texasdivorce.com. That's texasdivorce.com.
Accomplishing goals is hard. But when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to BABBEL.com. That's Babbel.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now, sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first. On your timeline, no waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades at no upfront cost. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first, sell your old home later. buy before you sell, and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
Not sure what the weather's going to be like in Buffalo.
It's going to suck.
And you know what the bad thing for Denver is? It's a different kind of cold in Buffalo than it is in Denver. Denver's like, hoity-toity snow. Buffalo's like dirty and gritty and working man kind of stuff.
Of all the BS I've heard from you through the years, you spouting weather BS is just too much.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1. San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagel, and you're listening to the home of the Dallas Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Joe says, finally got a chance to turn on the radio to hear about my Texans, and all I got was a carrot stick horse nostril and marshmallow-sized nipples. Just great. I mean, we couldn't talk about the Texans all day over and over and over again, although that would have been so fun.
Well, the good news is we'll be talking about them again. We're
That's
not done.
true.
They
We're
will
not
survive to lose next week.
I hope they win next week, quite frankly.
I kid, Texan fan.
I'm cheering hard
who
for
got
them next week. I'm Team Texans this week. How about that? I'll wear a Texans hat. I don't have one, but I would.
I'm with them. I'm down with the molested horse.
Ask Pledge. He probably has one.
GoFundMe.
You think Pledge's hat would fit me? He's got a tiny little head, little peanut head.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Well, he's got a lot of hair.
Yeah, that ain't never gonna fit me. All right, let's wrap it up how we always do with the Daily Lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the Daily Lines with AJ and Rob
stop
on
the music, Vic.
94.1.
Oh, that was pretty quiet.
Cut the music. Ravishing Rick Rude style. What you know about Ravishing Rick Rude, Vic? You remember him?
No, I don't.
What?
Oh, man.
What was his girl's name?
Sensational Sherry.
Sherry, that's it.
Oh, I remember that name.
And he would do the
Oh.
He would say, all you fat slobs in the crowd, and then he'd pick a gal out in the crowd and tell her to come up on stage in the ring, and he'd make out with her in the ring.
How did he die?
I'm pretty sure cocaine.
There's always an interesting death story.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure cocaine. All right, I've got to give away the Mellow Mushroom gift card before we do the Daily
This is
Lines.
awesome, by the way.
It's a Mellow Mushroom Monday here on 94.1. You can get one here and one with the Blitz today, a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom, which is, I think, my favorite pizza place in San Antonio so far. I love it. I mean, it's not. I've had it outside of San Antonio. They had one in Houston. I don't know if they still do, but the Mellow Mushroom here is awesome, and it's right by my place. So I'm a regular. I didn't get a $50 gift card, but I would take one. But what I am going to do is give it away to a listener right now.
Should.
And I'm going to do caller. What's our phone number again?
656
ESPN. Caller number 10.
That's worth it. Yeah.
Caller number 10 gets a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom on a Mellow Mushroom Monday.
They do some of their pizza dough, and then they make it into a kind of a pretzel with their beer cheese. This is as good as it comes. Man.
All right, now let's do the Daily Lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the Daily Lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered, yeah!
The Daily Lines brought to you by SA Card House, San Antonio's premier card house. Played in that $50K guaranteed tournament this weekend. I took home $560, I think. First place took home over $10,000.
That's when you got to fill out the little IRS form at that point.
But you're glad to do it, aren't you?
You're paying your taxes right now. Thank you.
But what I like to do is, and what I would have done if I were them, because second place got around 8,000. The chop was $99.40.
Oh, that's the I'd rather.
I'd chop for $99.40, and that way you don't. I mean,
I'm not telling anybody about any of this. We part as friends.
Every time I go to Caesars, if I'm making a withdrawal from Caesars, it's $9,990.
There you go.
You don't got to call Uncle Sam, and I won't tell anybody.
Let's you do your thing, I do mine. $9,990. We shake hands, go on our way.
It's a good number.
All right. The Daily Lines, let's start with the NFL. Minnesota -2.5 at the Rams. Total 47.5.
Like the offense tonight, I expect it to be right around in there. It's so close, I'm not touching that.
Yeah, I don't think I am either. I played a teaser with the Bills, which I didn't need to tease the Bills. But I teased the Bills from 8.5 down to 2.5, and I teased the Rams from 2.5 to 8.5. So I just need the Rams not to lose by 9 points or more, and I'm going to come into some money tonight. But
DFS 60-plus yards with Aaron Jones. How about 80-plus yards with Kyren Williams? What do you like on those?
I don't know Aaron Jones' health status, quite frankly.
I know this.
That's
if they're going
concerning.
to win, he's needing 60-plus yards. I'll put it there. If they're going to win, which I expect them to be valiant in their effort, I think 60 might be a little bit more doable than 80-plus for Kyren.
The reason why I like the Rams here is we all know Brian Flores is the king of blitz. Nobody beats the blitz like Matt Stafford.
Yep.
Nobody beats zones like Matt Stafford. He got the best possible matchup against a defense he could have gotten, and he's got zone-busting receivers, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. If I'm playing a prop tonight, I'm playing over receptions for probably both of those
What
guys,
about
quite
2-plus
frankly.
passing touchdowns, Stafford?
I don't want to do touchdowns because I could see them banging it in with Kyren from the goal line. But like I said, receptions for those two receivers, that's what I like. I like them to get the ball a lot.
You like offense, but scoring? Do you see offense tonight?
I don't know if I see 48 points of offense. That's a lot.
How about
That's a big
Stafford
number.
and Darnold, both 250-plus in passing?
No.
That's a reach, isn't it?
I don't trust Sam Darnold right now, not after that last game. If that's the real Sam Darnold, I'm out. The NBA tonight. Timberwolves at the Wizards. Timberwolves laying 13.5 on the road. Pistons catching 8 at the Knicks. Knicks had a good day yesterday. If you missed out on
on
that.
the Bucs. Jalen is cooking. Take the Knicks on this one. They're hot.
Warriors. I thought you liked the Pistons though. 8
Not on
points
this
is
one.
a
Did
lot.
you see what the Knicks did to Milwaukee?
Well, don't they? I mean, they usually tend to
I
take
know.
in the back-to-back. You scored 140 last night.
This is a tough one. Detroit is tough, but there's no getting around how hot New York is right now.
Warriors -6 in Toronto. Rockets laying 2 at home against the Grizz.
That's a good game.
The Miami Heat catching 6 in L.A. against the Clippers. And the Spurs and Lakers finally going to do the damn thing. Spurs +3.5 in L.A.
3 days of practice. I like the Spurs tonight.
All right. There you go. That's the Daily Lines brought to you by S.A. Card House, San Antonio's premier card house. That'll do it for us, friends. We'll be back tomorrow, though, if you like what you heard. You know, people putting their penis in horses' noses and things like that.
Stop that. Don't do that.
We'll have plenty
That's
more where
wrong.
that came from. Morning Huddle. Blitz coming up at 2.